And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, FTX. Y'all know about FTX? Have y'all invested any of your hard-earned cash into FTX? If you did, you couldn't get it out, hey, it sucks. I don't want to gloat, but it sucks. We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, we got to talk about Trump. What's going on? Trump versus DeSantis, Trump versus Glenn Youngkin, Trump versus this person, but not Kevin McCarthy. Trump is supporting Kevin McCarthy, but is attacking Ron DeSantis. I really don't get it. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, Elon Musk is doing a lot of great things over at Twitter, making some good decisions, but also some not so good decisions. We'll talk about the big mistake that he made in a little bit. Also, did you guys see that ridiculous pageant out there in Greater Derry, New Hampshire? This person, Brienne, I never heard the name Brian pronounced Brienne ever in my life. I never had anybody mispronounce my middle name as Brienne. Oh, Anthony Brian Logan, huh? Nobody says that. But we're going to talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And glad you guys are here. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you guys. We'll talk about quite a few things tonight on the show. First and foremost, shout out to all the sponsors and you guys for being here. But the sponsors, of course, y'all know how I do. Y'all got to go to my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, that letter B, LOGAN.com. On that website, you can find articles for every video that I produce. So whenever I produce a video and it's me talking on it, I write an article for it to cite my sources and to give different information, more information, or some things that I couldn't put on my YouTube page, like a full video that has music or a video that they may see as is not advertiser friendly. I'll put all that stuff on the website so they can't moderate that at all. That's my domain 100%. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Link will be in the description box below. Also, go to the contact page to find out my social media accounts, my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff will be right there on the contact page. You can also find my email address, my snail mail address. You can send me things, do whatever you want to do over on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com and AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. Go to the merch website, ABLmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website. And again, all these links will be in the description box. If you want the beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me, go to BHEDesigns.com. That link will also be in the box. And also, y'all go to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. And of course, y'all know links are going to be right there down below. And this is a podcast you're listening to right now being recorded live on the YouTubes. If you're watching me right now live, thank you for that. If you're listening to me on the repeat on YouTube, thank you for that as well. But you can also listen to the repeat of this podcast on your favorite audio streaming platforms for 100% free. That's Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that, as always, will be in the description. Or go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. All righty, so we got quite a few things going on. There's a whole lot of controversy happening. So, again, thank y'all for being here. You guys are fantastic. So, I think I want to start with, I kind of want to start with FTX. Let's go straight to FTX because this is something that's developing right now. Okay, that's developing right now, FTX. We'll get to the midterm stuff a little bit later. We still got a few open races there, but FTX. Now, you guys in the chat, y'all got to help me on this one. I know you guys know more about this than I do. I'm not a crypto guy. I'm not a finance guy. I just read the news and I just figure out what's happening and give my spin on it. I will give you the news as it exists. I'll give you the facts. I'll give you the links, the data, the information. I'll give you everything you can have to find the truth for yourself. I will give you the truth out of my own mouth, but I will also give you my opinion on what's going on. So you get both. You don't get one or the other, you get both. But anyway, so FTX, this guy, what's his name? Y'all know his name, Samuel Bankman-Fried. Interesting name, but I digress. This guy had this crypto exchange called FTX, and I think the main coin on the exchange was his own coin called FTT. And what happened was a rival crypto exchange called was it Binance? Y'all got to correct me on this. But a rival crypto exchange, it was Binance. So Binance decided to pull their position in their big token over at FTX. When that happened, it was like the big dogs pull out of a Ponzi scheme. You know, the thing about Ponzi schemes is that you can make money on them for sure. You could definitely make money on them. But what happens is the people that come in at the end, the little guy, the small guy, get totally scammed. They get totally scammed and they lose their entire shirt. That appears to be what happened here. Okay. So that was a problem. But anyway, the big dogs pulled out of FTX, and as a result, the entire company went bankrupt. This guy, Samuel, what's his name? It's so many. Samuel Bankman-Fried. I'm gonna say FBF. The guy SBF, the top dog over at FTX. This guy was worth $16 billion, and now is worth $0. And he wasn't in the U.S. He was over in, I think, Bahamas somewhere in the islands. I don't think it was in the U.S. And then after this whole thing went down, he allegedly got on the plane to Argentina. So he's not trying to be anywhere near the federales at all. He's trying to go to a place where they can't extradite him. He wants to just kind of go far away. If I was him, I'd go to the middle of nowhere, Pacific Ocean. You're talking about billions, or at least $1 billion that was squandered. People's life savings sometimes. Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen got caught up in that. Now, Gisele Bündchen and Tom Brady, they had $650 million allegedly into FTX. So basically, they were investing their actual money into fake money, into cryptocurrency. I've said for a long time, people always asking me, do I trust crypto? It's like, not really, because the only value crypto has, as far as money, the technology is different. That's a different story. The blockchain is different. I'm talking about money, cash. The only monetary value that Bitcoin or Ethereum, anything like that has is how much you can sell it for when you're talking about US dollars. If you could transfer that into US dollars or a different currency, it has value that way. It's a good way to move certain things, but it's so it has no stability. It goes up and down, and you can have this. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. You can have this kind of things happening right here with the whole crypto exchange. Now, I think what the problem was, you could kind of like day trade like stocks on this, but it wasn't a wallet. People are saying you got to have a wallet that doesn't really go anywhere. And I guess in a wallet, you don't gain anything on it. It's not really an investment, and you can't really day trade. It's just there, I suppose. So I guess maybe the exchange is like having it in a bank, sort of, but a wallet is like having it in your personal pocket. Maybe that's what's going on. I can't really call it, but you guys got to let me know what's happening. Yeah, crypto's not backed by anything. Now, some are going to say that some will say that neither is fiat currency. It's not backed by anything. Yes, fiat currency is backed by something. Before, it was backed by gold, right? It was backed by gold back in the day. But now, you know what it's backed by? You know what it's backed by now? The U.S. military, petroleum, oil, the United States government. That's what it's backed by. That's the whole thing. If not for the military, if not for maybe even the industrial complex, the war complex, if not for petroleum, oil, gas, then a dollar wouldn't be backed by anything, but it is backed by something. You can't go to the store really and buy anything that can't be converted into cash or buy with okay. So for example, if you could go to the store and buy a loaf of bread in crypto, the only way that would happen is if that crypto could be converted immediately into US dollars. And I think how that would work is the price would constantly change when you're talking about being able to buy it in crypto. And a lot of these tokens that exist, there's so many different tokens. It's like, okay, you got a dollar, right? You have a US dollar and you have the euro for currency. If I just create my own currency, where is the value at? How does it have any value if I just create my own currency? I just come out the woodwork and say, okay, here's my new currency. Y'all use that. It has no value. Okay, and that's something else though. So if you had your money on FTX, on the crypto exchange, ain't no FDIC insurance, you're pretty much just losing your shirt. Let me see if I can find an article about Tom and Giselle. Okay, here we go. Here's something, but that's not really what I was looking for. I was looking for the actual, the big money. Oh yeah, Tom and Giselle, they were doing commercials for FTX, talking about crypto and making it be a real thing. And they put their own money into it. Now, if I was Tom Brady, maybe I'd do a commercial for FTX, perhaps, if I thought it was a good company. But I wouldn't put my fortune into no cryptocurrency. That's kind of silly. I buy stocks, because there's regulation that makes sense in stocks. When you're talking about crypto, it's wild, wild west. It's wild, wild west. Now, I'm not trying to say that that's something else right there, Jim Grady. Ammo will be the new currency for sure. Now, I'm not trying to say that there's no corruption. We're talking about regular financial markets. Of course, there's corruption. And there was corruption here. Like, even with regulation, there was still corruption. Let's talk about, Tom Brady and Giselle. Here's an article about that. You see where it says Tom Brady and Giselle now caught up in FTX collapse? Okay. So let me see. Here's something right here. FTX faced a liquidity crunch earlier this week because some of the big dogs pulled their positions out. So if the big dogs pulled it back away from the Ponzi scheme, you can't finance the whole Ponzi scheme. This is what this was. This dude, SBF, Samuel Bankman-Fried, is new Bernie Madoff. That's what's going on here. But anyway, they faced a liquidity crunch this week, which means they didn't have any actual cash on hand because the big dogs took it out. FTT, a crypto coin that the exchange issued, plummeted in value. The domino effect left Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, FTX desperate for a bailout from rival Binance, which seemingly precipitated the FTT decline in the first place. Yes. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. Okay. So Binance pulled their position out, and then FTX went to Binance to get them to help bail them out. It made no sense. Why would you go to the guy that caused you to fall to help you get back up? Because you're desperate, or maybe you didn't know about that at the time. I don't know. Maybe you're incompetent. I can't really tell. But anyway, as of Wednesday, the bailout is reportedly in danger of falling through. Yeah, it didn't happen. This is an older article right here. This is November the 9th. By this time, it's pretty much a done deal. All right. So that's your man right there, SBF. And that's Giselle right next to him. Okay, that's Giselle Bundchen, Tom Brady's ex-wife, or soon-to-be ex-wife. And there is your man, Samuel Bankman-Fried. This is the guy that was worth $16 billion. And you know what? I'm going to say this here. I was watching the Andrew Tate clip today. And Andrew Tate, what he was saying was that, yes, they are divorcing. Look, and Tom Brady, Giselle Bundchen, it's been a whole big thing. They are divorcing. And, before I get back to Samuel Bankman-Fried, the guy right here, and these beat down New Balance, I don't know what he has on. He looks a complete mess. Disheveled. I would not trust this guy with 1 red cent of my money. Point blank, period. Put on a pair of pants at least, man. Like you got on pajamas right now. Anyway, so Giselle Bundchen bought a mansion right across the water, like maybe about 300 feet away, not very far from Tom Brady, basically across the street. She bought her house in Tom Brady's immediate neighborhood. She can see Tom's house from her house. He has a home being constructed right now, and hers has already been built. Will they say that she's crazy and obsessive and trying to stay in Tom Brady's life and being the menace like they try to say Kanye did when he did the exact same thing? You know, the thing about Kanye, there was already a narrative about Kanye that he's just unruly and says anything. They didn't like him already, so any little thing he does, whether it be something that is kind of crazy or not, they're going to say it's crazy. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to Samuel Bankman-Fried. This is the guy right here. Now, what I was talking about with Andrew Tate, he put out a video. I'm not sure if it's recent because of the whole thing with FTX or what. He was like, look, people that drive around in Toyota Corollas that are worth millions of dollars, they have endless wealth. He says they're the worst kind of people because really what they're doing is hoarding the money. That they're hoarding the money. They're not very good people. They always end up being kind of slime balls. That's what he said. I'm not sure I always agree with that. I think if I became a multi-millionaire, I'd still have an economy car, but maybe not a Corolla. I think his whole point was that they're not really sharing the wealth as they say. He says he's philanthropic, but how philanthropic are you when you can't even pay your own people that bought into your system their money? How are you going to really give money away when you don't have it to give back to your own people? And maybe you do give money away, but not to the right places. I'll talk about that in a minute. But this guy right here, I would not trust him with 1 red cent. Not 1 red cent. I don't care what his ethnicity is, what his name is. So what? Put a pair of pants on and a proper shirt, and that's pretty much what that is. But anyway, I digress. So that's Tom right there participating in FTX commercial on his Twitter page. Okay. But yeah, there's hold on. Here's something right here. Whether or not FTX is bailed out by Binance, Brady and Bunchen have likely lost a majority, if not 100%, of the value of their ownership stake in the firm. So they had ownership in the firm, not just money invested, but also ownership in the firm. So this is going to be a really big L for Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen. Big L for them. And also for other people. I'm seeing different things floating around talking about there was some money from Ukraine invested into this. I'm not really sure if that's true or false. But a lot of big dogs had money in it. I think it was a hedge fund, a big hedge fund that had money invested in the FTX. You know how hedge funds work. They put your money in different places and they generate a return for you, I suppose. But a lot of that money was in FTX. And since that happened, that's pretty much gone. And after FTX went bankrupt, there was a run on the actual accounts because somebody hacked it and drained the money out. How convenient is that? So you get caught, right? You get caught doing the whole Ponzi scheme thing. Now you got to file for bankruptcy. And then the day of or the very next day, all of a sudden you get hacked and then people's balances get drained out. So you couldn't even log on to the actual app properly. You get an update of the app. It's a Trojan horse. It's hacking your account, your Wells Fargo, your Bank of America. It's hacking that, taking that money out, and the money inside your actual exchange account on FTX gets drained too. This is a whole big mess. To tell you how big it is, to give you a bigger scope of it, the Miami Heat, the basketball team, their arena was named for FTX. So they had to change the name of the actual arena. Okay, no longer the FTX arena. But anyway, so let's get into a little bit of history about this guy, SBF, and what's really going on with him. Because this is really deep. I'm going to read this thread right here, and it'll give you a little bit more clarity into what's going on. So let's check it out. So you have the crypto firm. You also have another firm, I think that's the hedge fund, called Alameda. Now, the CEO of Alameda is a young lady who sounds like Velma off Scooby-Doo, a complete nut. But anyway, her dad is Glenn Ellison, who's a department head of economics at MIT. And Gary Gensler from the SEC was professor for the practice of global economics management at MIT. So basically, Gary Gensler and Glenn Ellison were cool. They were work colleagues. They probably been friends for 20, 30 years. So it's kind of fishy that you are part of a hedge fund that is now pretty much gone insolvent, gone bankrupt, all the money's gone, and your dad is the chair of economics at MIT and his friends at the SEC. Because if you do something like this, what they were trying to do, they took money from the crypto firm to give to Alameda to make that get back on deck. It was like $4 billion or something like that. That's a crime. That's illegal. And if you're the SEC chair's friend, it's like your godfather. You might say, you know what? I don't see nothing wrong with that. I'll turn the other way. I see what you're doing, but I won't say anything about it. Okay, so pardon me. It's a venture capital firm. There you go. Thank you, MLS. It's a venture capital firm. He was trying to save that with money that came from the crypto thing, which you can't do. Totally illegal. So maybe your friend over at the SEC turns the other way and doesn't say anything. Okay. Now, Goldman Sachs is involved here. So the CEO of Goldman Sachs, David Solomon, met with Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, to help FTX official get regulatory approval. And this is a picture of Alameda CEO, Caroline, her dad, Glenn Ellison, with Gregory Palm, former top Goldman Sachs lawyer and one of the wealthiest corporate lawyers in the United States of America. All right. See how deep it goes? So you're talking about government control, government regulation. But this right here, this is the real swamp right here. These are the guys that really make stuff kind of tick in the financial world, at least. Here's something else. Now, SBF's mom is what's her name? Is her name Barbara Fried? Nah, hold on. Oh, no. I'm getting ahead of myself. So his dad, Joseph Bankman, was in the process of a new IRS tax filing system, creating a new one for the United States of America to use. So this is a really deep guy, a really plugged in guy. I think Joseph Bankman and his wife, Barbara Fried, used their boy just like Joe Biden used his boy. Just like the whole Hunter Biden thing. Hunter Biden had no reason to be out there in Ukraine getting money from, what was that? The energy company, I forget what it's called. He had no business out there. He's a crackhead, a loser, just a complete nut. But Biden put his own boy out there. It's like, look, I can't be out there getting the Burisma Holdings money. You go out there and get that money. You go do these dudes all over the place. And hey, save 10% for me. Give me 10% and then we'll be golden. All right. But you go over there, you get that back from me. Give me 10% and we'll be good money. That's kind of what's going on here. Now, here we go. Here's his mom, Barbara Fried. Now, Barbara Fried is SBF's mom. This is the scammer guy, billions of dollars, Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, Miami Heat. Okay, that's him. That's his mom, Barbara Fried. Now, she is a bundler for the Democratic Party campaign contributions, basically a fundraiser, okay? And also, guess what? A lawyer at Stanford Law. Now, 13 days after Joe Biden said he was running in 2019, FTX launches. So they've only been around for about 3 years. And in that period of time, they've skyrocketed to be worth billions of dollars. How does that happen? Maybe when your mom is in tune with the Democratic Party, and also SBF gave Democrats $40 million in the midterm elections this year. $40 million. And he planned to give them $1 billion in the following election coming up in 2024. $1 billion. That was his plan. He could have done it too, if not for the fact that some of the big dogs pulled out too soon. He would have been Bernie Madoff with a whole big bag of money. And you know what? The thing about Bernie Madoff, his scheme was so, how can I say, it was so just, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't very good. It was kind of a basic scheme. He had all of his money in one checking account. He had $5.5 billion in their checking account. He would just withdraw from it when money was due. He would add to it when he got money and withdraw when it became due. Dumb stuff, right? Because FDIC insurance is like $250,000. You got $5.5 billion in one bank account. the dumbest thing in the world. All right. But anyway, so there's more. So the guy, Samuel Bankman-Fried, SBF, he went to MIT, of course, just where his, isn't that where his dad works? Yeah, his dad works there. Oh, no, not his dad, but his girlfriend's dad or his friend's dad works there. He went there, and his girlfriend or the friend or whatever went to Stanford, where SBF's mom and dad worked. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. But yeah, this guy and this whole situation is really deep. A lot of the federales are involved, government's involved, big money players involved, hedge funds, banks, and everything else. This is going to be a problem, and you're going to see a lot of the Democratic Party, they're going to get caught up in this because this was a big a Democratic Party donor. Matter of fact, let me find my original clip here, if I can. If I explain it a little bit too long and a little bit too detailed, here's a very tight version of it. And shout out to him. I think it's Nobody Special. It might be him right there. Yeah. That's his name, Nobody Special. This is a very good video that gets straight to the heart of the problem about what's going on with FTX, if you don't know. So let's watch this right quick. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Oh, definitely a big national security risk. Absolutely. Ain't no question. Ain't no doubt about it. The swamp gets deep, super deep, deep as the ocean. And things like this kind of reveal it. It kind of reveals what goes on every single day with your checking account, with just money in general. It's a whole big issue. Let's go and play the video right here.
This is Sam Bankman-Fried. People call him SBF. He's the founder of FTX. He also controlled a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research, but that's all gone now. He wants you to think he's this sweet guy. He even brought in a famous YouTuber who called him the most generous man in the world. Yep, that happened. Truth is, Sam Bankman-Fried is a liar and a crook. His personal crypto, FTX token, was basically a Ponzi scheme hidden below layers of Moonbro jargon. He even went on Bloomberg's podcast and bragged about it. Yep, that happened. He used his Ponzi token as collateral to borrow billions of real dollars that he couldn't pay back. He then used those real dollars to build an empire out of dying companies like Voyager and BlockFi. This led Jim Cramer to call him the new JP Morgan. That's weird. It's not like Jim Cramer to promote a billionaire con artist.
Remember her from Theranos? Remember that whole thing? I mean, a lot of these financial guys get stuff wrong. Don't take big risks if you can't afford to lose it.
SBF sold people cryptos like Bitcoin, or so they thought. What they really bought from SBF was an IOU. But as long as everyone didn't cash in their IOU at the same time, the scheme worked. Until it didn't. This other a-hole who hates SBF came along and engineered a bank run with some passive-aggressive tweets.
That is the co-founder of Binance, Chinese guy, which you should already know that, right? That's not a real surprise.
It worked. SBF didn't have enough money to repay everyone at once, and now his customers have lost everything. He'll be happy to know that this is exactly how every bank in the world operates. So where did all the money go? He misappropriated $4 billion trying to save his failing hedge fund. Whoops, that's a felony. He spent $21 million on Super Bowl commercials, $5 million for the big guy, $40 million in campaign donations. I wonder what he wanted in return. And everyone who's pointing at this story and saying,
"This is exactly why we need to regulate crypto."
Remember that SBF stole billions. That's already a crime. And he spent a lot of it on bribing politicians. Also a crime, in order to create a crypto monopoly for himself. Government regulations don't protect the customers. They protect the crooks. That's exactly what SBF was trying to do.
There you go. There you have it. So this story right here is not going away. You're going to see more and more come of it because a lot of prominent people had money into this. Like I said, Tom Brady, Gisele Bündchen, millions of dollars. They might have had like their whole wealth into it. Let me see if I can find a clip where or a video or an article where they talk about this whole thing with Tom Brady and Gisele Bündchen, how much money that they may have lost. Steph Curry also had money into this. Oh, man, you talking, it's not really a surprise. You guys got to watch. If you're into finance, if you're into money at all, you got to watch ESPN 30 for 30 Broke because they get into things like this where you try to make this big kind of get rich quick type situation toward the end of your career. It's like, okay, I won't make these big checks anymore in the NFL. I might be able to go commentate or something like that, but I won't make big money anymore. So now I want to kind of take money I have and make it just kind of flip. it's like street stuff, really, because I've seen plenty of guys. Because I know a few guys that do some things they shouldn't be doing, or I have known them. But I'll be surprised when people would try to give these guys some money and have them quote unquote flip it. Oh, I got $10,000. I'll give it to your friend. He give me $15,000 back. It's like, sir, you think you can just give him $10,000? You just give 15. Like you can make $5,000, 50% return on that just in the street. You have no idea where the money's going. Ain't no contract. You just kind of desperate to do things. And that, I think, is going on here. From wealthy people, it just losing big money, making a very risky decision. Get stocks, real estate, stuff like that, safe bets, this new stuff, crypto and whatnot. So here's what it is right here. They're not saying the exact dollar amount. Okay, they're not dollar amount, but they FTX had more than $6 billion in withdrawals in 72 hours. That's a bank run right there. Although they're not a bank because they're not FDIC insured, it's just crypto. That's pretty much what it is. But see, the thing is, people would pay them to invest their money into Bitcoin rather than buying Bitcoin directly. It was so weird. Yeah, money to burn, but that money, it won't be there forever. But I'll move forward here. And if you like what you're hearing so far, y'all go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Here we go. Here's what I wanted. This is a big amount of money. So according to this website, CoinSpeaker, Tom Brady and Giselle risk losing $650 million investment into FTX. That's a big number. That might not be the exact number. It might be inflated. But if it is that much, whew, good night. They may as well cancel the divorce at this point. Because if they lost that much money, they can't afford the divorce. Just go ahead and stay together. Don't build the extra house, Giselle and Tom. Just cancel the divorce, get back together because y'all cannot afford over $500 million to lose. Okay, you can't afford that. But anyway, I digress. So we got midterm news coming up too. The midterms are pretty much done. There's still a few races that are up there, up in the air. I think Arizona, Nevada, and Georgia. Well, Georgia's pretty much done. You got a runoff coming on December the 6th. So we're just waiting on that to happen. Alaska is irrelevant because it's two Republicans running. And I'm not sure if either one won. I think that'd be a runoff as well. But it doesn't really matter. It's two Republicans. The thing about Alaska, you have Lisa Murkowski running against a so-called MAGA Republican. That's the civil war going on right now between Republicans that are like, I guess you would say, Trump loyalists and the quote-unquote establishment. That's a war that's been going on for a long time. You had Mitch McConnell giving a bunch of money up there in that particular election to protect Lisa Murkowski, in my humble opinion. Okay? I saw Blake Masters get on TV and say, hey, they're trying to help Lisa Murkowski up in Alaska, but what about me out here in Arizona? I mean, I don't really know. Blake Masters got his own demons in the closet. He's like a Peter Thiel guy, and they're going to try to focus on that. Oh, you're just a proxy for PayPal founder. It's so much going on. Politics is really weird, but I'm not sure he has a path to victory. Speaking about Blake Masters, but Carrie Lake does. She most certainly does, and I want to see if they've counted any more votes. Okay, so they have 88% reporting in Arizona right now. And Katie Hobbs is up 1156 to 1121. So that's about, what's that, about a 30,000 vote difference, 35,000 vote difference. So, I mean, there's a lot of votes that are still remaining. I'm not sure exactly how many, but it's in the six digits, like 200,000 or 150,000 votes that are still remaining. And people are saying that these votes, the majority of them were same day drop-off ballots. well, pardon me, election day drop-off ballots. So you could vote on election day with an absentee ballot rather than going into the actual spot and voting inside, going through the whole process. You could just drop your ballot off on election day. So that's the majority of votes that still remain. And once you count those, Kerry Lake may actually win. Now here's what I heard about the counting. So I think I heard this earlier today or yesterday. It might have been today. But somebody from Arizona, election official, I'm not sure who it was saying, okay, it's about 250,000 votes that still need to be counted. Now, at the pace they're counting, they can get between 60 and 80,000 votes done per day. So they'll be done by the beginning of next week. So sometime, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right around there. They don't really know. But see, the problem with Arizona is that they were allowing drop-off ballots on the day of, and it's a really arduous, they got to go through signature verification for each individual ballot. It's a whole big mess. They don't have a really good system. They need to copy what Florida is doing. Every state should do what Florida is doing because they have a big population, many more than Arizona does, and they were able to get their votes counted, out, done, complete that election night. It was over with. As soon as the polls closed, it took them a little bit of time. By 8 o'clock Eastern time, they were done. It was over with. You had the governor, senator, all of that was finished. And here we are, still many days later, talking about who's going to be the next governor of Arizona. They don't know. It's weird like that. So really, I think that's probably going to be the only races in question. And I think Nevada's the next one. I think the Senate is going to be the one that we got to worry about. And it's a very close margin. Look at this, razor sharp. So you have Adam Lexalt, the Republican, and then Catherine Cortez Masto, the Democrat, the incumbent. He has 48.5% of the vote, and she has 48.4% of the vote. Now, I'm not sure that there is a runoff rule in Nevada. Y'all let me know about that. I'm not really sure how that works in Nevada. Is it the same way nationwide? Meaning the runoff rule would be if you don't get 50% of the vote in this election, you got to go to a runoff between the two top vote getters, and then whoever wins that with 50% plus one of the vote becomes the next whoever, senator, governor, house rep, whatever it is. Now, does that rule exist in Nevada? I'm not really sure. But the margin of votes is like 1,000, like literally. Really, like I see that's about 900 votes difference. Very, very thin margin. Okay, no Nevada runoff, but okay. Well, all you got to do is just win with one more vote, literally, than the Democrat. 95% reporting in that particular race. So we're going to see what happens here. We shall see. Okay, and then the governor, did they already call it? Yeah, Joe Lombardo. Joe Lombardo won. So that's a flip right there. Joe Lombardo flipped Nevada into his favor. Okay, so shout out to Joe Lombardo. But we're still waiting on Adam Lexalt to go ahead and win that. So we'll see. Recount, it might be a recount. I'm not really sure. Like I said, every state is different. Some states have automatic recounts. If you have a certain number of votes, a certain number of margin, if it's below a certain number of votes, that's a margin of difference. They will go ahead and do an automatic recount. So I'm not really sure about Nevada, what their laws are, but I would presume this would be over with pretty soon. Maybe by the time Arizona gets done, Nevada will also be done. But that's really all we got to worry about. Alaska, I'm not really worried about that because, I mean, either way, it'll be a Republican. Now, I mean, I like Mr. Murkowski, but I'd rather have her than a Democrat in there, for sure. And then, what else? Georgia is going to be where it all comes down to, in my opinion. If we can get Arizona and Nevada, then we're good. Because we're at 49 Republicans in the Senate right now. If we get Arizona and Nevada, that's 51. So we're good at that point. We don't need Georgia. But I think we'll get one or the other, probably Nevada over Arizona. So then it's all on Georgia. Okay, Bob K says we got to have a recount with anything below 0.5% margin. Okay, well, that's that. But I think if Adam Laxalt wins right now, he'll win again in the recount. I believe so. So that's that. But it's going to be a thin margin, very thin margin. They still got 5% out. I don't think that 5% is going to go in Catherine Cortez Masto's favor, because I think a lot of the early votes, which would normally go for Democrats, would go for Catherine Cortez Masto. And I got to say something right here. We have to really improve our ground game when it comes to getting these early ballots, meaning Republicans, because we can't have Democrats have the advantage on anything when it comes to voting, whether it be day of, early voting, or whatever. We got to get all of that, everything. So it can't just be this whole thing where they got an advantage automatically, where you know one way that they vote is going to be, we really got to get involved that way. And then also that reduces on the ability to cheat, because if you don't go out there and vote early like they do, it's an easy way for them to try and use your stuff to go out there and vote and plus a no voter ID or something like that. Now, I'm not saying that does happen. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it could happen. And if you want to prevent that from happening, you got to go out there and vote early and prevent it from happening. So yeah, definitely do that for sure. People say vote day of, I understand, but we can't just be left behind and let them just take advantage of the whole system and use these laws to work in their favor to win elections fair and square, because that's what's happening right now. There's a lot of fair and square stuff going on. There's some weird stuff happening too, but I wouldn't call that being rigged. I think that these states are kind of incompetent. Remember, Florida was incompetent too back in the day. Okay. Remember back in the Bush era, remember Jeb, what was that, like 04? And there was boxes of ballots on the ground on the interstate. Remember that whole thing? I mean, Florida was a complete joke. A complete joke. Now, I'm not sure who was the governor. Was it Jeb at that time? Oh, those days are so cringe. Jeb and W and everybody else. And speaking of Jeb and W, have you seen W lately? W looking more like HW toward the end. Father Time is so cruel. It's not even, look at this right here. Okay, check it out. This is your man W. And of course, he's going to do some kind of fundraiser, a covert fundraiser for Ukraine. And I'm tired of seeing this dude, Zelensky, in a green T-shirt. I'm tired of seeing this dude just, it's like, sir, we're giving you billions of dollars. Have decency, put a suit on, put a shirt on at least. Do this look right here with no tie or something. I don't want to see your green war shirt no more. Your perfectly pristine, clean green war shirt. I don't want to see that anymore. Okay? Your nice, pretty haircut with the edge up and whatnot at the barbershop. I don't want to see that anymore. Put on a shirt. How about that? But anyway. So yeah, if I did not know that was George W., I would think it was HW, his daddy, toward the end. It's crucial, man. You know, that tells you that time waits for no man. Life moves on. You can't stay stagnant. You can't stay in the same space. You got to keep on moving. Everything is in motion. You got to be in motion too. Okay, so yeah, shout out to the deep state trying to raise money for Ukraine still. Like, they don't get enough. How much more money do you need? It's like you're giving them an allowance. do they have an allowance? Okay, $400 million every 2 weeks. Is that it? I mean, where do I go to get that kind of allowance in my pocket? Can I get some of that money? Oh, nah, I forgot. I'm not fighting a proxy war against Russian Federation, so I don't get that kind of money, but Ukraine does. Anyway, yeah, I am triggered, chess 123. I am super, super duper triggered. All right. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Joe Sullivan says the magic number for Arizona governor is 1.25 million votes. All righty. So let's see if we can get it. That shirt, I've never seen a shirt so clean. That shirt is the cleanest green I've ever seen in my life. Straight from the factory. Some little kid in China made that shirt for him right there on the spot. And he put it on, and it was photo shoot time. That's pretty much what's happening right there. But we got a lot going on. We got to talk about. Can we just go ahead and go to Trump versus DeSantis? I want to go Trump versus DeSantis. Okay, so Trump has been attacking DeSantis preemptively, and also Glenn Youngkin and other people. But at the same time, he's supporting Kevin McCarthy to become the next Speaker of the House. But I thought McCarthy was part of the swamp and not. You see what I'm saying? I'm not really sure, because I've seen people attack Kevin McCarthy, but at the same time, Trump supports Kevin McCarthy. It's just kind of weird. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand the attacks on DeSantis because he's not running. Neither is Glenn Youngkin. And doing that right now doesn't make any sense because we still got races to win. Okay, we still got races to win. We got races in Alaska. I'd rather have the Lisa Murkowski person out of office and our person in office. Focus on that. Focus on Herschel Walker down there in Georgia. Okay, that should be the focus rather than trying to campaign right now for the presidency. We still got elections happening right now. Kari Lake, focus on that. Focus on getting our guys and girls in office rather than your political aspirations in the future, trying to become the next president again in 2024. And we're going to see if he announces coming up on Tuesday. I'll probably go live for that as well if Trump announces officially. He kind of already did announce right before the election. He said, okay, I'm not going to announce right now because I don't want to be a distraction, but I'm going to make an announcement next week. It's like, okay, like, what are we doing? It's like, officer, I don't have any cocaine, but, next week I'm going to go ahead and just smoke my cocaine I got in the back of my car. It's like, okay, come with me, sir. Hands behind your back. Don't resist. You're going to the penitentiary. You just said you have the drugs without saying you have the drugs. You admitted to doing a thing that you say you're not doing. I don't understand. But anyway, he's attacking DeSantis and also Glenn Youngkin. And I think Glenn Youngkin responded to Trump, but not really. I'll play the video on the screen in just a moment here. But I think his response was good. So, and then about Glenn Youngkin, he was like, Youngkin. The name sounds Chinese, doesn't it? Maybe he was trying to imply that Youngkin has ties to China, financial ties to China. I guess that was the whole thing. But it's like, why do that right now? Do that if you're going to run in the primary. Don't do that right now when these guys are still trying to win elections in the country. But here's Youngkin's response to what Trump said.
What's your reaction?
First of all, I didn't see it.
We have it right here.
And I have to be honest. I've been busy all morning. Listen, you all know me. I do not call people names. I really work hard to bring people together, and that's what we're working on. Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's not the way I roll, and not the way I behave, and I think again, this is a moment for us to come together as a nation.
So yeah, that was a good way to handle that because, what would be the best thing to do is not respond to the attacks. Don't buy into it because it can't help you at all. It can't help you at all, especially when a guy like Glenn Youngkin did not run that way. He didn't run with the attacks and whatnot. You see, Trump was needed at a certain point to bring the attacks, to shake things up, to wake people up. He was needed. But now that is no longer effective, unfortunately. Or fortunately, whatever you want to say is no longer effective with a lot of people. People on the left and the right will vote against Trump or anybody that is like Trump, meaning, punching, they don't want that no more. They want the politician now. And I've said this before. Most normies love politicians. They love them. This is why the guys like Glenn Youngkin, clean shaven, certain kind of hairstyle, always got a suit tie. You see what I'm saying? They have themselves presented a certain way. They speak a certain way. They look a certain way because that's what normies like. They feel comfortable. It makes them sleep well at night. They're not nervous. They think this guy has it under control. That's the reality of the situation. So when I say a guy like Trump is kind of unelectable nowadays, it's not even about me personally. If Trump ran, I'd vote for him all day long. But I know most normies are thinking differently. And that just is what it is. I have to just accept what people think. And you can't just force them to change. You got to just adapt with people. And it is what it is. Now, I think what the left are doing, they are forcing change in people from a young age, from K through 12 education. You see what I'm saying? This is why so many Gen Z people identify as LGBT. When it wasn't that way just a few years ago, they said like, was 50%, 70% of Gen Z identifies as LGBT. Hold on, let me see if I can find that right quick. And this is what I'm talking about right here. The people have changed. So we got to change with the people. We can't just say, okay, we're going to do things the same way. We've been doing it for years and years and years. That's why Trump was needed, because we were doing things the wrong way. We did not update it all in the GOP. So we're taking L's. We just weren't really having success like we had before. So it's now bring Trump in, shake things up, do something else. Now things are changing even more rapidly because technology changed people. TikTok was around in 2016, as far as I know. Now these kids are hooked on TikTok and they're getting fed propaganda 24/7, 24/7 propaganda on their phone. So we got to change with that as well. We got to adapt to the TikTok generation. This is why you see these goofball Democrats on TikTok doing dances. Why? Because they're adapting to what the young people are doing, because they vote too. Now, I might think they're morons, a lot of them, not you guys are watching. If you watch me, you're a young person, you're a smart person. But I think a lot of the young generation are morons, not all, but some. That doesn't matter what I think. They still going to vote. So if whoever I bring out there is not appealing to them, then they're going to vote the other way. Then I'm going to lose. So you got to be able to just change with people. Or what you can do is change people from an early age, like Democrats do. Get more education, get more into mentorship, and just have more families. And, you know, 2 parents in the house the whole time raising kids. Be involved with the kids' lives. Monitor what they are taking in on social media and in the school system and outside, talking to their friends and whatnot. You got to do it. Because if you're not going to do it, the outside will. The internet will. That's just what's going on. And entertainment, movies, TV, all of that will influence your children. So they get to be 18 years old and they will go to some highway somewhere in some major city and glue themselves to the ground in protest of climate or something crazy like that. That's how they operate. But I digress. Okay. Now, where was I at? Talking about Glenn Youngkin, talking about Trump. Oh, yeah, so Trump may run, and I think if DeSantis runs, he have a better chance. Now, I ran a poll on my Twitter. I ran 2 polls. I ran a poll on my Twitter about Trump, and then I ran one on my YouTube about Trump. So I'll put up the YouTube poll first and then a Twitter poll so you can kind of see what's going on. If I can find the YouTube one, I got the YouTube one right here. So the poll was, should Trump run again? That's the poll right there. I got quite a few votes, 52,000 votes, okay, in one day with almost 2,000 comments. Now, the majority of you guys, 53% says yes, 37% say no. So the majority say yes, a handful, well, a lot of it say no. So that's a poll right there. That's on my community tab of the YouTube page. So that's one poll that I ran. Now, this is a pretty big sample size, 52,000 votes. And the people that are going to respond are people that are subscribed to me. So it's a heavily conservative group. So that's that. But I have one more poll for you guys. That ain't the only one. I have another one for you guys. And I got to find it right quick on Twitter. Now, this was kind of the opposite. And I will find that in a moment. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And where we at? So here's the other one that I ran on Twitter. Same question, same exact question, same exact placement of yes and no. Now on this one, I say, should Trump run again? 40.9% say yes, 59.1% say no. And again, it's the same thing. Not very many votes because I have a smaller following on Twitter, obviously. but you probably got to be following me or follow someone that follows me to have access to the poll. Because if you're not following me or following a friend of mine or something like that, you probably wouldn't see it at all. So you get mixed results. Now, if I ran the same poll about DeSantis, how's it a fake poll? Come on, cousin Vera. But if I ran a poll about DeSantis saying, should he run, I can guarantee you that they would both say yes. That both polls would say yes. And it'd be with a wider margin. I guarantee you. Yep. So that's what it is. Twitter is suspect. That's hilarious. Like the poll is fake. So the YouTube one was not fake. YouTube is totally fine. Google is fine. But Twitter, now owned by Elon Musk, that's suspect. Okay. That's funny how that works. Like, you gotta just see things for what they are. That's what I'm talking about. I don't really have an emotional bone in my body, really. I'm not an emo guy. I don't care nothing about nothing. I could say, yo, Trump, I love you, man. You did a great job for this country, but you shouldn't run. It's just like if you have a great NFL quarterback, been a great quarterback for many years, but his skills have diminished. It's like, okay, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, whoever you are, you've been great to the organization for a long time. You've been an asset to us, but you're 50 years old now and your arm ain't the same anymore. Let's go ahead and just call it a day. And we'll let you go. We'll cut you, trade you, whatever it is. Okay? It's nothing personal, but we got to move forward. And now we got this brand new draft pick overall. This guy, 6'5", okay, a long California hair, big square jaw, white dude, can throw the ball all the way from the end zone to end zone, accurate. Let's make him be the future of the franchise. Just like with Brett Favre, when he was getting old. That's a different story about Brett Favre and his criminal stuff. But anyway, when Brett Favre was getting old, okay, here comes Aaron Rodgers. That's you can't just say, Brett Favre, we love you. You're the best guy. You can't ever leave. He has to leave. You can't play football forever. Let Aaron Rodgers come in. It's the same thing going on right now. It's like, okay, Trump, we love you. Did a great job. But let your man DeSantis come in. Let him come in and you just pass the torch. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Brett Favre is still great, but so is Aaron Rodgers now. Who was that? Drew Bledsoe was great, but then Tom Brady became great when Bledsoe got injured and Tom Brady came in, and that was it. It's simple. It's simple. Now, the comments are hilarious. Am I God? I'm just a guy that has observation. I'm a guy that just realizes what the reality is. And I've said things on the channel before that have been controversial, but I'm always right about what I say. Because I observe. If I don't know, if I'm unsure, I'll just say that I don't know and I'm unsure. But about this right here, I'm right. And a lot of people are on my side with this. It's just the reality of what's going on. All right. Loyalty. Okay, somebody said I have no loyalty. Loyalty to what? I don't have any loyalty to one individual person over the whole country. No, I don't. It's not even about being loyal. Like, loyal to who? I'm loyal to the United States of America as an American. So if I think you can do a better job than somebody, I'll put you in there. I don't care. You could be my grandmama. I don't care who you are. It's not. I'm not a hero worshiper or nothing like that. I just look at who's going to be the best person for the job. And if you aren't going to be the best person, I could love you, but it don't matter. So what? I'm cold-blooded like that, but that's the world. That's the way the world is. That's the way the world is, man. Let you drop too many boxes at your Amazon warehouse and see how much they're loyal to you at that point. See how much they're loyal to you at that point. Drop one too many boxes with some fragile item in it, and you're going to be gone. Period. You could be my grandmama. If you keep messing up, you're going to get fired too. That's how a lot of guys get caught up in the NFL and NBA and Major League Baseball because they feel like they owe their family member something. They're loyal to their auntie, to the uncle, to the cousin in them. And then they're so loyal and so they owe them something for what? I guess being raised. And then at the end of it, when they broke and they have nothing, the people that were there, they got to be loyal for, aren't there for them. You got to get beyond your feelings. I don't have feelings. That's why I have feelings, but I don't have those kind of feelings. You see what I'm saying? I don't have normie feelings. I don't know. I'm just a little bit different like that. But I think I'm not the only person that feels this way, and which is why I understand we got to just move forward. And I wish Trump could just be a guy that would cooperate, because like right now we got to have Herschel Walker get to the finish line. That should be the primary focus. Hold on. Here's a good super chat right here. Close Issue says MSNBC is floating Stacey Abrams and Elizabeth Warren ticket in 2024. Is that their best people? Who do you think Dems have to run on their side, ABL? Well, they have nobody that will run. And really, they had nobody when they ran Joe Biden. But people voted for Joe Biden because they didn't like Trump, and because Joe Biden had a name recognition from Barack Obama as a vice president for 8 years. That's the only reason why they got Joe Biden in there. They knew Joe Biden was a vegetable. Well, I'm going to say that because I don't want to get striked on YouTube. Oh, you said he was vegetable. They knew he was a potato. Is that a vegetable? I thought it was a fruit. But anyway, they knew he was a whole potato. Couldn't really campaign. They had him in the, like, think about it like this. This man won from the basement. You could say he didn't win, but it don't even matter. He did. He's here from the basement. And they will run Stacey Abrams because they think she's like Oprah. Okay, fat black lady, you're Oprah. That's how they think, not how I think. Again, not about no feelings. I'm just saying what they see. I can think how they think. And then Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, it's the girl power. Okay, we're going to have two women of color because she's Native American, allegedly. Pocahontas, blah, 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 all of that. Then you got the big black lady. You got Oprah, all right, with none of Oprah's charisma or speaking ability. Let's put them out there. They don't really worry about failing or anything. They're ideologues. You've had a failed candidate in Georgia, not once, not twice, but 3 times, or at least twice, trying to become the governor, Stacey Abrams. You got stomped in 2018 by a little bit, and then in 2020, you got curb stomped by a lot of bit by the same person, Brian Kemp. So if you keep getting stomped in Georgia, how are you going to win the presidency? Kamala Harris, I think, is more popular than Stacey Abrams. At least Kamala Harris was a senator. Not Stacey Abrams. She's only been, what, like on the state house? Never a senator or anything on the federal level or like a governor or something like that. Nothing to that extent. But Kamala Harris polled at 0 when she ran for president back in 2020. She polled at 0. So if she polled at 0, how can Stacey Abrams poll at anything more than 0? It doesn't make any sense. But they do things like that because they're ideologues and they don't care about facts. They care about just, okay, this will work. I believe it's going to work. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, Oprah, I don't think Oprah wants to run. I think Oprah has no desire to run. They probably wanted her to run. But since they can't get Oprah, they'll get the great value version of Oprah, Stacey Abrams. And the only reason why she's the great value version is because they got similar looks as far as their size and they dark skin. I guess that's the only way. But I don't see the obsession with Stacey Abrams. I don't understand why they keep trying to put her out there as a person that should win. I don't really understand. I don't get it aside from the looks factor, because she's not a good politician. She keeps losing to Brian Kemp, and she lost worse this time than last time. So all I can figure out is that they like the way she looks because she has that big black lady, Oprah, everyday person type appeal to her. That's all. Okay, you guys want a live poll? What's the live poll going to be about? Give me the live poll questions, Sean B. Give me the live poll questions. I put a live poll right here. So y'all let me know what we're going to do. All right. Now, the thing about Trump as well, Trump has a very big following of people that know him, that love him, but that won't get him over the finish line. I would say probably about 35% of people would vote for Trump and it wouldn't waver. You can count on that vote. Now you still got to get 51, 55, depending upon electoral distribution of the vote. So you still got to get 20 more percent of the vote. And you probably won't be able to get that with Trump because of all the negativity that has been placed upon him, whether voluntarily or involuntarily by the media or whatever. So I don't really understand. I don't really see a path forward for victory. And it just would, it'd be a mess. Okay. So is a live poll Trump or DeSantis? Is that what we're going to do? Okay, let's do it. Let's do a live poll right now. Let me see if I can do it here. There we go. So the question would be Trump or DeSantis. I'll put Trump first, DeSantis second. So y'all can vote on this poll right here. It'll be right in the chat. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Boom. All right. So it's up there. It's right there in the actual chat. Y'all can vote on that whenever you want. And I'll probably reveal the results in the super chats. So in about, 30 minutes, I'll reveal the results of what's going on. Okay, I got a good super chat right here. I'm gonna read it right quick. Okay, from Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid says, you talking black conservatives are doing Trump dirty. Candace Owens and Officer Tatum are trying to push Trump out. Candace's hit piece on Trump was shameful. I like DeSantis too, but let him challenge Trump and defeat him on his own. Well, I mean, what are we saying that's wrong though? Like, we're not saying anything that's wrong. All we're saying is that we're saying the right things. Like, how are we doing something that's dirty? I think Candace Owens, I'll play what she said so guys can understand where you're coming from with that. I'm not sure what Tatum said about Trump. I think it might have been in defense of Candace, but I didn't watch that video, so I can't really comment on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and play what Candace said about Trump, so you guys can have that context. All right, let's go ahead and get it done here. And you know what? Shout out to Candace Owens. You know what I said on my Twitter? That kind of got a little controversial. It got a little spicy. I said that Candace Owens is the biggest mainstream black female supporter of black men in the world. And people call me all kind of names and whatnot, but nobody can refute what I said. Because check it out. We're talking about mainstream people that are widely known all over the world, all over the country. Candace Owens is very popular. Like, I'm just out here talking to people in Atlanta, where I'm at, Tennessee. Normies know who Candace Owens is, okay? When I say what I do for a living, they say, hey, do you know Candace Owens? That's the number one question I get. I'm talking about, like, grandmas, 25-year-olds, everybody. She is mainstream. So out of all the mainstream people, Candace Owens defends black men the most. And nobody can say that I'm lying because she defended Kyrie Irving. She defended a lot of guys, a lot of the black conservatives, anybody that is being done wrong. And I wouldn't say Kyrie Irving's a conservative. He's just being done wrong by the NBA and the people, right? Oh, you got to meet with the Jewish leaders, all this and that. She was like, nope, that's not a good thing. You're making them grovel. She defended Kyrie Irving. She defended a lot of black men. Okay, she defends me. She defends all of us. But when talking about mainstream black women, what do? Get in line and vote with the women on the Democrat issues. A lot of the mainstream black women hate black men. Look at Oprah herself. Look at Oprah. How she treats the guy Stedman. Won't marry him, of course, because she's a multi ex-gazillionaire. Keeps that man in the doghouse in the back of her mansion. Stedman. Don't even give him a full name. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just a pet. She spent some time with her real wife, Gail, than Stedman. Don't even like men. A lot of bulldaggers. Look at Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter, they say that they are for black men and black male empowerment, but they only support us when we die whether it be by the hand of the police or the white man or our own hand, if they can blame it on the police or the white man. And they support that because they can fundraise on that. Patrice Cullors, a lesbian, a bulldagger, got $10 million in real estate off the backs of Black Lives Matter. Oh, if you're gay and you're a black man, maybe you kind of fit into if you're a gay liberal, you'll fit in as a black man over on that side. Their man, Shalamaya Bowers, is over there getting money with them too. What if that was a straight black man? Nope. They hate straight black men. Alicia Garza, one of the co-founders of Black Lives Matter, is a lesbian and has a wife or husband or whatever. This person is a biological white woman who appears as a white man. Hold on, I gotta find a picture. You hate black men so much, you want to get with a fake white man. But I'm to be told that Candace Owens is the worst thing in the world. I don't understand. I don't get it. When she always defends black men and defends black people, she doesn't want to see the ridiculousness and the lawlessness and the things that we engage in that are self-destructive. But if your Black Lives Matter, then you could do all that all day because why? It makes money, raises a bunch of money. Hold on right quick. Let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Okay, here we go. Check it out. This is BLM co-founder Alicia Garza and her husband, I guess you would say. I'm not sure what this guy or girl or whatever her name is. This is a white woman who has now become a white man. You see what I'm saying? They'll do this and then talk about Black Lives Matter, all this and that and the third, blackity black. Now, personally, I'm not judging you for dating interracial. I don't care nothing about that. That's not love who you love. I don't care nothing about that. But when you say blackity black, then get with a fake white man at the same time and have nobody black around you really, except for the people that wind up dead to fundraise. I'm like, what's really going on? What's really happening? So again, I say Candace Owens is the biggest black female mainstream supporter of black men in the world. And I challenge anybody who disagrees with me to find someone else. Find somebody else who is greater than her when it comes to that. Find somebody. I will wait. I will wait. And if you can find it, I might eat my hat live on stream. Maybe, because you might pull a rabbit out the hat on me. You might really just pull my card and call my bluff on that one. I don't know, but I doubt it. You know, I'm not a betting man. I'm confident on that. I go to Vegas on that one. I put everything on black on that one. Okay, and I'm gonna win. I got my bet in that. I put everything on it. I put my whole bank account on that. But anyway, I digress. So, I don't know how I got down the rabbit hole. Oh, somebody was talking about, so that's what I was trying to find. Talking about Candace. Let's find what Trump said about Candace, or what she said that he said about her, and why there's an issue. And then I'll keep on moving here. All right, let's go ahead. Is it here? Where is it at? Oh, see, now I gotta find it. I don't know if it got taken down or what. So, yeah, I don't know where it's at. I might not be able to find it now. I'm gonna try to find it one more time. I don't want to slow the show up too much. But I saw it just a little while ago. Here we go. Now, this is kind of long. I won't play the entire thing here. So y'all just hang with me. Yeah, allegedly it's an allegation. Yeah, I'm not gonna, I'll just play this and then let y'all can decide. I'm not sure if it's been retracted. If she said that she made a mistake, I don't know what's going on. So I could be a little bit behind. But I'm just responding to the person that super chatted right quick. And then I keep on moving here.
Trump actually got upset with me because, and here's the great irony, the richest irony, the Daily Beast ran a headline regarding that live Instagram that you just heard from me. And the headline was, Candace Owens says Trump is pro-vax because he's too old to understand the internet. I never once called Trump too old. I never once said that Trump could not understand the internet. And yet somehow he got that information and believed it to be true. He thought that I said that he was too old and that he couldn't understand the internet and did not quite get the information that actually what I was saying was a defense of him so that his supporters would still believe in him. Not only was he just mad, by the way, he then, during a golf session with some mutual friends of ours, had a person next to him who was egging this on, saying to Trump, and I know this because, again, this is a mutual friend, aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? Aren't you mad at Candace? And eventually he was like, yeah, I'm so mad at Candace. I'm so mad at Candace. And this got back to me that he was upset with me, that he was angry at me. And the next time that I saw him, he was quite rude to me. He was actually rude to me. I'm telling you this personal story because I think it is.
Now, pause right here. Now, some are going to say, oh, it's he said, she said, but she saw him after that. Like, she actually saw him, and then he was rude to her. So you got a personal friend telling you something that was said on the golf course or whatever, and then you see him again in person. Now he's rude to you, so it's like, what's going on? Why are you doing this to me? Now, I'm just playing this because of the super chat person that was talking about it, so you understand what he's talking about. I'm not saying anything else other than that.
Something that made me, for the first time, question him as a person. So you have an individual that spent years defending you, right? And that individual gave you a completely kind and fair interview. You said something yourself that your base didn't like.
Now, the interview talking about, the question was about the vaccine because that's controversial, right? And she was talking about how a lot of people don't like the vaccine and it's because of the mandates. And Trump was defending the vaccine. He was like, well, we did a good thing. We got out 3 vaccines. We got them out very quick, get them out very fast. Best vaccines ever. You know how he talked. So he was praising the vaccine and she was just saying that people don't really like the vaccine, but they came to a common ground where they were talking about the mandates were a problem. Okay, that was the main issue. She didn't really grill him like that. It was kind of softball questions, actually. It was kind of a softball interview. So I don't understand why he would get mad at that because she did not make him look bad. It was just really weird.
And you somehow transformed that into something that I did wrong. That's unacceptable. That is not being a leader. That is not owning things that you did wrong. That is not owning that you misunderstood something about your base. That's not growing. That's not developing. In fact, he should have tried to understand why the base was so upset with him, which would have led into the fact that his base is not pro-COVID vaccine. It's that simple. I understood that. I could have told him that. But at that moment, I realized that he's not listening. Who is this guy next to him trying to egg him on to be angry at me for trying to defend him?
And you know what? That's something else, too. You know, the problem with Trump also, like I say, I like Trump. If he was when I vote for him. But I think a lot of people get around him that shouldn't be there. Lynn Wood, terrible. Guys like that just shouldn't be there. So many backstabbers, so many people that leak stuff. There were so many leaks from the White House. It was ridiculous because when you're a guy like Trump, it's kind of hard to find good people around you that's not going to do weird stuff. Now, I'm not saying Candace is doing weird stuff. I'm saying that people like Lynn Wood and Jared Kushner were doing weird stuff. You see what I'm saying? That's the problem that I see. That's a big problem right there. Having people around you that are not very competent and that do things like egg them on when they shouldn't be egged on. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. All right. So I'll move forward away from that. People are saying, oh, it's drama. Hey, I'm telling you, this, you've seen nothing yet. You have seen nothing yet. I told y'all it was going to be crazy in the midterms, and it was. It was a complete mess in the midterms. But check it out. 2024 is going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. Speaking of going to be nuts, I'm going to talk about that whole that Greater Dairy story. Have you guys seen that? About the Miss America or Miss USA pageant? Let me find that right quick. Just to kind of lighten it up a little bit and move forward. So this person won a pageant. Now, I can't play too much of this because it has music and they're going to try to strike me. So I'm going to kind of play the music low here. But this person won Greater Miss Dairy in New Hampshire, which is part of Miss America pageant. Hold on. I'll play the name.
Skip to the good part.
So it's kind of hard to play. It's music in the background. But you can see what's going on here, right? You see what's going on. This person right here. Do you see this name? Now, when you see that name, how would you read that? Like Anthony Brian Logan? Is that how you would read that name right there? This person calls themselves Brianne Nguyen. You know, in Vietnamese, that name is pronounced Nguyen, like you won a basketball game, Nguyen. It's like everybody's name in Vietnam. They got like two names in Vietnam. I was one of them, Nguyen. But anyway, I think this person, because this is a trans person, right? They were born as a male, now identify as female. I think their name was Brian. And rather than changing it, they say, you know what? I'm going to put an accent mark on the I. Now I'm Brianne. It's like, sir, really, Brianne? Is that what you're going to say? Look, check it out. Yeah, the mouth wide open. Everybody's shocked. Why be shocked? You already know what time it is. You already know where you at. You know it's this current year. So don't be surprised, Starbucks Katie, that this E Honda looking, sumo wrestler looking cat done won Greater Miss Dairy. Anyway, so they did not have they didn't even bother to change the name. Okay, my name is Brian. I'm going to just put an accent mark on top of that. Now I'm Brianne. And check it out. Don't anybody come up to me talking about Anthony Brianne. You get in the Ultimate Warrior, Incredible Hulk, Undertaker, chokeslam, straight through the mat. Straight through the mat, you're going down. Do not call me no Brianne. My name is Brian, Anthony Brian Logan. That's my dad's middle name. It's a family name. Do not say Brianne. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting triggered. So this person won, and I'm playing it right now with no sound because it has music in it. It's going to strike. But this person won this beauty pageant. Now, this person, I think, is 18 or 19 years old. This is a teenager. Yes, it is a teenager. Now, the reason why it matters is because, first of all, Miss America, this is the very first trans person to win an actual pageant in that series. But number two, if you won the pageant, you got a college scholarship. Okay? So this person, Brianne, stole a college scholarship for one of these other girls in the background. And you know what? The longer they keep buying into the whole LGBTQ elemental P movement, the extremists in the movement, the more they keep buying into it, the longer, how can I say this? The more they keep buying into it, the sooner they'll be irrelevant. Because just wait until they import them Thai lady boys. Oh, they're going to be done. They're going to be done. Look, check it out. Some of these Thai lady boys, you'd be totally fooled. You would have no idea that's a man until you do a DNA test. Straight up. They got this guy looking like he could chop that arm through a block of wood. He's winning because he identifies as a woman now, and they want to be socially aware, and they don't want to be homophobic. They want to do all that, right? They want to set history. But then when they bring in some actual competition, some guys that look like girls for real, they'll be done. Starbucks Katie, Target, Samantha, you're going to be finished. Go back to the house, feed your cats. You pretty much going to be toast. You're going to be toast. And it's unfair because a lot of these girls have been doing these pageants their whole life. Okay, I was in a hotel one day, and it had a convention there. And a convention, I forget what it was called, but it was a bunch of girls, like little girls up until like college girls, and they were there for like a beauty competition. And you would see the stage moms out there with the girls practicing the moves and practicing the walk and putting makeup on and stuff like that. So these girls have been doing this a lot of times for a long time. It's a hobby. The parents are into it or whatever. Sometimes they want to go take it seriously. They want to be a real model. And here you have this guy that is scarfing down McDonald's, okay, with no napkin or nothing. You got potato chip, salt all on your face. And you know what? I'm the beauty queen now. Give me the statue. Give me the crown. If women don't speak up, it's to continue on. It'll continue. It ain't gonna change at all. So yeah, shout out to Miss Greater Dairy in New Hampshire. Brienne Wynn. Brienne. I wish somebody would try to call me Brienne. It's like, sir, my name is Anthony Bryan. Ain't no Brienne here. Ain't no Eves and Brian. Ain't no apostrophe or hyphen or nothing like that. Ain't no dash. Okay, it's simple. Brian. Call it like that. Okay, but I digress. I'm not being phobic or nothing. It's just unfair to women. You know, I think women should have their space, and there should be a man's space as well. Why must we try to interfere in each other's spaces? Why can't there be men's football, women's football if they have it, or better yet, men's soccer, women's soccer, men's tennis, women's tennis, men's basketball, women's basketball? A male beauty pageant would be like a bodybuilding thing, I guess we would say. And you have also a pageant like that for women for bodybuilding. We're different. We're not the same. And you know what's weird is that people will say that being feminine or masculine is like heteronormative, but why do people that try to change their gender make themselves be more feminine or more masculine? We saw the other time where I had the Starbucks person on there talking about I got a full mustache and beard. It's like, come on, young lady. I done seen better beard and mustache combinations on regular normie lunch ladies. They're not trying to gender bend. They're not trying to do nothing. They just somebody's meemaw and they grew a beard by happenstance, okay, and they ain't shave it. That they got a whole Fu Manchu by mistake. Your beard and mustache combination from the hormones you're taking is nothing. You got a dusting on your chin. You got snow flurries on your chin, okay? But Miss Johnson, the lunch lady, got a whole Mao Zedong mustache, Karl Marx full big body beard, okay? You can braid her beard, but your jank is not very convincing. But they try to do things that are very masculine to become more manly when they want to go from female to male, and then when they go from male to female, they try to be more feminine sometimes. But now it's kind of confusing. You got guys that got the taco meat on their chest popping out of the dress. It's just weird. It's all over the place, man. But anyway, I digress. I'm getting a little bit too silly. So let's get we got super chats on deck. I got to everything I wanted to get to. Elon. Oh, I forgot about Elon and the Twitter mistake. I don't have time to really get into that actually, because we got super chats on deck. Then I need to get the calls. So the only thing about Elon Musk and the whole Twitter mistake was that he decided to sell the blue checks. So when he came up with the program, I'm like, okay. When he first said it, I'm like, all right, you're gonna have the verification process still, but rather than the verification process being corrupted and having people behind the closed doors selling the check marks, $15,000, $10,000, it'd be $8 across the board. You apply to verify with your ID and stuff like that, the same as always, and you pay for your verification mark that way. That made sense. But what he ended up doing was just selling the blue check to anybody, which made it meaningless. If I'm a normie and I can just buy a blue check for $8 and I have no followers, I have nothing, then it has no meaning at all. It's just kind of weird. So it defeats the purpose of having it. Why buy it if it means nothing? It's like buying a handful of sand. Why would you do that? Just go to the beach and get some. You see what I'm saying? It didn't make any sense. It has no value after you bought it. So that was weird. And also it made it easier to troll. The whole point was to control trolls, but it made trolling easier. So you could just be a regular normie, get a blue check, and impersonate people. Like somebody impersonated Eli Lilly and said insulin is now free. And that caused the stock price to actually drop dramatically. It caused like a real world effect because people didn't check to see if that was a real thing because it was verified. They thought, oh, this is a real account. It's verified. It looks real. So when they say insulin is now free, all right, let's go ahead and just sell the stock because a big part of this stock is insulin being sold. So I'm going to sell right now. It was crazy. It was a whole big thing. So now you can no longer buy the checks. They stopped that program right away because they saw how it was going to be abused. You can have moderators come in and stomp out these fake accounts, but they make so many of them so fast, and they can put out a tweet and it goes viral. By the time you recognize that's a fake account, the tweet already been viral. You can delete the account afterward, but the damage had been done. By the time they found the account and deleted it, it could have been 5-10 minutes. The stock price already done went down. And a lot of people are going to believe whatever they heard at first, and they won't believe any kind of retraction or statement to the contrary. Just like when they put out fake stuff in the media and then they issue a retraction, the fake information is going to be what goes out there first, and everybody sees that. And the retraction will be seen less. Just like when I put out the video about the vaccines not being able to stop the spread, people still believe that it can stop the spread because the initial news reporting was that it will stop the spread. The initial news reporting said that if you got the vaccine, you'll be protected. Trump said that during an interview with Candace, but I put out a video from the CDC director, Rochelle Walensky, who says the vaccine cannot stop the spread. It can't stop the spread or you from catching it. All it does is just reduce your symptoms, allegedly. But when I play that video, people are like, wow, I didn't know. But it's been out since last year, almost a full year. Well, actually now, over a full year ago. You see the initial reporting, but you don't see the retraction. You don't see the follow-up. So, yeah, they start their whole program right there. Twitter is essential, in my opinion. You got to have Twitter. It's quick information. A lot of times it's really good information. You got to have it, but you got to go back to having real verified accounts and not people that can just buy the verified account, because at that point, it doesn't mean anything to be verified. I mean, you could pretty much put anything out. You can have fake news spread easier that way. It doesn't make any sense. All right. I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick. And I'm going to end the poll after the super chats. So probably in about 10 minutes. And I'll show you guys the results after the whole thing is over with. If I can show it, I might not be able to actually show it because I see it right here on this screen. This chat is a little bit behind, I suppose. So it won't really show it. I might be able to show it. I'll try to figure that out. I can see it right here on this screen. I'll probably try to just share that screen for you, and then you'll be able to kind of see what's going on. But anyway, I'll get to the calls in about 10 to 15 minutes. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description and right there in the ticker. Give me about 10 minutes for that, and the phone lines will be open. Super chats right here. Thank you to Apple, who says, shout out to the ABL callers for very astute insights. Right on. Also, DeSantis versus Trump equals deep state versus Democrat Rhino PSYOP. Or equals deep state Democrat Rhino PSYOP. Thank you to Kai's Proximus, who says, if it comes down to it, 45 Ron should just endorse. Thank you to Apple, who says, mail-in voting was the difference between Democrats or experts at ballot harvesting. Republicans got to up their game. Pennsylvania decided before election day. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. We got to get up on that. We can't just let them do that. We can't just say, okay, they do the ballot harvesting, we won't do it. No, you got to do it too. If it's legal, do it. If you can't do it, do it. Don't just let them do whatever they want to do while we just stay stuck in the past. We got to update whatever we do. It's just that simple. They do things that are very unscrupulous and unethical. And we say we don't want to do it, but we can't just let them do that. So you got to fight fire with fire sometimes, unfortunately. Thank you to Apple again, who says Republicans got to win state government and ban mail-in vote 100%. Thank you to Apple again, who says ballot harvesting is unethical. I just said that, didn't I? Corrupt, fraudulent, and a shameful disgrace to all Americans who died in war defending democratic rights. Ban mail-in voting. We should ban it, but I mean, it's not banned, so what are you going to do? You got to play the game in order to win. Thank you to Apple again, who says pray for Kari Lake and Blake Masters and Paul Lexalt. Also, ABO fans in Georgia, we need Herschel Walker as senator. Right on. Thank you to Apple again, who says ABO, please endorse Herschel Walker for Georgia senator. Yes, go vote Herschel Walker. If you've not voted yet for Herschel Walker, if you can, I'm not sure if you can. I think the runoff is on December the 6th. Did they have early voting right now open? I'm not really sure. But please, oh please, if you live in Georgia, vote Herschel Walker. I endorse him. Yes, I do. Also, Apple says, God bless J6 MAGA Patriots and DC Jail Solitary. Newsmax says, Newsmax. According to Newsmax, new documentary film Shame of a Nation airs Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It details civil rights violations of J6 MAGA Patriots. Check it out. Also, growing up, ABL, what was your impression of Bill Clinton? Did you understand what was going on? Why was he so popular? I feel he was overrated and hyped. When I was a kid, we saw him as a black president. We saw him as somebody that could relate to the black community. I saw him on Arsenio Hall playing a saxophone. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that clip right quick. Because at that time, I was like probably about 8 years old when he got elected, 1992. So by the time he was finished, I was like, oh, this is like 2000. I was in high school by the time he was done. I was like, I want to say 16. So I was around during that whole time. Hold on. Bill Clinton or Arsenio. We thought he was really cool. It was the same thing with Barack Obama. He was real cool. So, hold on. Matter of fact, here it is. So Arsenio, you remember Arsenio Hall? He was a late night talk show host. He had an excellent show back in the day. They tried to bring it back recently, but it wasn't quite the same. Look, that's Bill Clinton right there playing the saxophone. I saw this when it happened. I saw this. I was probably, I don't know how old it was. 1990, about 8 years old. I remember this. I mean, come on. Sunglasses inside at night playing a saxophone on a black show. Come on. From Arkansas, I got that, hey, hey, Hillary. Come on, man. That's what got him over the edge. Policy and stuff like that, I didn't know about because I'm 8 years old. And as it became later, I kind of understood a little bit more about policy when I was about 15, 16, but I'm still, I come from the black community. I don't really know about politics like that. So I didn't really understand the policy. I understand a little bit. The whole Monica Lewinsky thing, we knew about that. But beyond that, we didn't know about taxes and all that kind of stuff until I got to be older. All right. I thought it was cool as a kid because I'm like, oh, you black. But you got to understand, me at 8 years old, I'm in the black community fully. I'm in a 100% black place, 100% black. And it's to the point where it was nobody even light-skinned where I lived. If you saw a light-skinned black person, that was rare. That was like seeing the white person. So I didn't even know I was dark-skinned until I got to be in high school where I was around more different shades. It was weird. But anyway, I digress. That's why we liked Bill Clinton back then, because he was cool, at least from my point of view. Also, thank you to Apple, who said, shout out to all veterans in the ABL audience tonight. Happy, I guess you would say belated Veterans Day to all you guys. Thank you to Sleeping Earthlings, who says, people been saying Bitcoin is dumb for 12 years. For 12 years, it is trending up and to the right. These people will either never buy or keep buying tops and keep saying it is stupid. I mean, you can buy Bitcoin and make money, but the problem is a lot of these other coins are just complete Ponzi schemes. If you're going to buy any crypto, I would say get Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that people believe in, that has faith in it. But put your money in a crypto exchange or buying some random weird token, it's just asking to get fleeced. Thank you to Apple again, who says, did you choke slam anyone today, Brianne? No, I didn't. Everybody was cool today. Nobody texted me today. Also, did you get into playground fights as a kid? Occasionally, but not really. I was more, I wasn't really a fighter. I was just kind of the guy that would crack jokes and try to talk to girls. I wasn't really the fighter type. No, but occasionally I did, but not really. Thank you to Apple, who says favorite bread, white, multigrain, or sourdough, rye. I like the honey wheat bread at Walmart. The Sara Lee honey wheat bread is what I like. Whatever that is. I think it's like a wheat bread, but it's like a little bit sweeter than regular wheat bread. But I don't like regular white bread. It's like cake. It's too sweet for me. I like a little bit of sweetness, a little tad bit of sweetness, but not really. More like, but I don't want it to be multigrain or sourdough. It's a little bit too dry. It's like eating paper. Also, Apple says butter on toast, honey, favorite jam or jelly. Butter on toast for sure. 100%. Thank you to Vanessa who says, Burisma, thank you for that. That's what I was talking about earlier about where you had your main man, Hunter Biden, working at. Apple again says, SBF crypto scam make Democrats look bad. Normies care. It does make Democrats look bad, but I don't think normies really care about that. If they don't really care about, if they don't care about Hunter Biden smoking crack, I mean, literally smoking crack on camera, if they don't really care about that too much, I don't think the whole scam with the SBF cryptos will make a difference. Unless they had money in it, maybe. Thank you to Roscoe who says, you rock it, ABL. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Apple who says, McCarthy, McConnell, McDaniel got to go. Matt Gates. Thank you to Joe Sullivan who says, the magic number for Arizona is, okay, I read that one up, 1.25 million votes. Thank you to Zeta Kingsford who says, shout out to the deep state for throwing big money at DeSantis. That's what it's about. We'll see about that. Thank you to Orion Public Insurance and Justin who says, do you think that Hollywood moving to Georgia will eventually turn the state blue? Well, they're already there in Georgia, and they're not really in Georgia. They're in Atlanta for the most part. And Atlanta has been blue for a while. I don't think that it would still, I don't think the population influx would make the state blue because Georgia is still a deep red state. Once you leave Atlanta and you're beyond the perimeter a nice little ways, you're no longer in Atlanta. You are in Georgia. If that makes any sense. If you're from the area, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I know. For people that's technical, well, you know, Atlanta's in Georgia. I understand. But if you go to Atlanta a lot or you from there, you understand that Atlanta is not Georgia and Georgia is not Atlanta. Thank you to Kathy Carver for your donation. Just like D.C. is not really Virginia. Anyway, thank you to Coach 99. I already read that one. Thank you to Lone Star who says, don't fire me, grandson. I'll work harder, I promise. Do you have a sushi bar? Thank you to David who says, seems like some people are more Trump fanatics than conservative. I think Pence or DeSantis will make a great president. It's all conservatives. I like Pence. I always like Pence. I always like DeSantis. And I always like Brian Kemp. I remember when I said I liked Brian Kemp, and I never stopped liking Brian Kemp. People said that I was weird for that because he didn't go in Trump's favor with the election results. But I'm like, yo, I like him. I live right here close to Georgia. He's doing a good job. Why would I throw him away because he didn't acquiesce to what Trump was asking? And you see what happened. He won in a landslide and didn't need Trump at all. Trump did not campaign for him or anything. And he won better now than he did last time in 2018 with Trump's help. So you see what I'm saying? I don't know. Coach 99 says, what do you think about Oprah turning her back on Dr. Oz? I wonder if she reached out to her. I think she's a backstabber for being a friend to Oz all those years and then ghost. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at Oprah doing that because Oprah is all about Oprah and her brand. So if Dr. Oz was a friend of hers for 1,000 years, it don't matter. If you wanted to go on the other side, then she can't have you. You know, Oprah's gonna be hanging out with Michelle Obama and that crowd. So if you're going to be cozying up to the GOP, she can't have you. She don't care. She doesn't even really care. Like I said, she don't even care about her own husband, Stedman. Keeps the man in the backyard like a dog. Keep him in a little outhouse like a dog. So if she don't care about him, why would she care about Dr. Oz? She's not married to him. You see what I'm saying? Thank you to Lord Hybrid who says, I read that one. Thank you to Teacher Just who says, love peeps, but Trump run is not good for the country. He will be stymied at every turn. Sorry, but true. That's what I'm saying. Thank you to Tinny Vision who says, do you have any concerns with GOP after Arizona and Pennsylvania? I think the problem is Pennsylvania and Arizona, not the GOP itself. I think Arizona has a really bad voting system, terrible system. Pennsylvania, I think just you had a bad candidate in Doug Mastriano, and then an also bad candidate, but not as bad in Dr. Oz. That's what happened, in my opinion. Thank you to Nate T for the donation or for becoming an ABL supporter. Thank you to Lord Hybrid who says, Candace attacked Trump based on the private conversation he had with mutual friends. If Trump attacked her publicly, then I can understand. Trump welcomed us blacks into a party and addressed our issues. I support Trump if he wants to run again. Well, she also said that when she saw him in person, that he was very rude to her. It wasn't just a he said, she said. It was also confirmed with the way he was acting toward her in public before she said anything. So that's that. Okay, so somebody said Nevada went blue. What you mean? Oh, well, they're calling Nevada right now. We got some breaking news. They're calling Nevada right now for Catherine Cortez Masto, unfortunately, for the U.S. Senate. And they're saying that Adam Laxalt lost, pardon me. So she has 48.7% of the vote. He has 48.2%. And she has 481,000 votes. He has 476,000 votes. So you're talking about a margin of about 5,000 votes that she apparently has won. I'm on Google right now, and they're calling it for Catherine Cortez Masto. And let me see. They're calling Arizona for Mark Kelly, and they're calling Nevada for Catherine Cortez Masto. And hold on. How about the governor? Well, that's already been called. So Joe Lombardo won the governor in the governor's race in Nevada. He's a Republican, but Catherine Cortez Masto won the Senate race in Nevada, and she is a Democrat. That's the Senate. So you got to have Arizona at this point, and you also have to have Georgia. You got to have Arizona and Georgia. Well, nope, can't get that because Mark Kelly won. They're calling it for Mark Kelly. So that's pretty much over. It's over with now. So there's no hope now at this point having the it don't even matter because Georgia now is irrelevant because even if Herschel Walker wins Georgia, it'd be a split Senate. So you have a tiebreaker of Kamala Harris. All right. And the governor race is still not decided between Katie Hobbs and Kari Lake. Well, that's Google calling it. Well, actually, that's the AP calling it. That's the Associated Press. The only one that's not been called yet is Katie Hobbs and Kari Lake for the governor of Arizona. But again, recap, they're calling the Senate for Mark Kelly in Arizona. And let's go to Nevada. They're calling the Senate for Nevada for Catherine Cortez Masto, both Democrats, Mark Kelly and Catherine Cortez Masto. And the governor, we already had that for Nevada as Joe Lombardo. So the whole thing we're waiting on right now, or we were waiting on, was to see how the Senate went. We have 49 seats in the Senate, but they have 50 already. So it's over with. So there won't be a Republican majority Senate. We'll still have a split Senate at best, 50-50. That's if Herschel Walker wins. If he does not win, we would have lost a seat in the Senate. But we are, I think, going to gain the House. All right. So that's what it is. Now, AP can call it on their own terms, but that's just them calling it. That doesn't mean that others are going to call it the same way. Fox may say something different. It depends. All right. So somebody says Fox has it on there. Hold on. I'm gonna pull up Fox right quick. Let's pull up Fox. All right. So let's look at the Senate and on Fox. Let's look at the map. So Fox has also called it for Mark Kelly in Arizona and Cortez Masto in Nevada. They both called it. This is the Senate race. Okay. So look at see the ticker right here. They have 50 in the Senate, and we have 49. So they could just stay right here and they're straight. Even if we get one more, there's a tiebreaker, and that's Kamala Harris, who's a Democrat. So she'll always vote with the Democrats. So essentially they have 51, although there's only 50 Senate seats right there. The president of the Senate is the vice president of the USA. That's Kamala Harris. So even if we do win Georgia in the runoff on December the 6th, it doesn't matter because it's still going to have the majority. Best we could do is just split the Senate right now. That's all we can do. And how about the House? Do we have anything about the House? Okay, so this is way too close. We need to have 218 to get the House. And right now we're at about 211 and they have 203 in the House. All right. So there's still a few races. Lauren Boebert out there in Colorado, she's leading right now, but that's not been decided yet. Arizona 6, we're leading that, but it's not been decided yet. So there's still a few races that are out there, but we're leading in all the races. So I think we're going, or in most of the races. So I think we're going to get these particular seats that are still available and get the majority by a very slim margin. So that's what we're going to see. I did not say Katie Hobbs is being called. I said that it's still the one that's open as far as the governor. If you were referring to me, I know it hasn't been called yet. Katie Hobbs and Carrie Lake, I know that. But as far as the Senate, which is what I was talking about, that's already done. Katie Hobbs, that's for the governor of Arizona, not the Senate. The governor is relevant when it comes to the federal government. I'm talking about the Senate because they vote for federal issues. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. We'll probably know for sure by sometime at the top of this week, this coming week. We'll see. All right, I keep on going here because time is wasting. I got calls going to be on deck in a minute. Thank you to Sherry D, who says ABL was correct about Candace Owens because she defends black men and she thinks they're correct, even if she disagrees with them politically. ABL 100. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you to Barbara, who says, Barbara Chiofalo, who says, kudos to you, ABL. Your poll votes are coming in faster and clearer than these elections. Exactly, right? Thank you to Jeff Jones, who says, the Trump cult is strong in the chat. I didn't say it. He said it. Thank you to MKI, who says, Candace is my future ex-wife. She don't know it yet. Hey, shout out to you, man. Keep the faith. Thank you to Liam Loach, who says, it's Trump or nothing. If we allow lies to defame a good man, flawed or not, he is our guy. And the establishment, Republicans hurt his candidates by pulling funding, then the party deserves to burn. Thank you to Papanaya Shelley for being a member, who says, E. Honda's son, LMAO. Thank you to Eric Jordan for the donation. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, ABL, I'm a fitness bodybuilding bikini competitor. My last show had men competing against women in the physique category, and nobody says a word. Garbage. That's crazy. That's totally nuts. And it's unfair because you got to have your space for you and fellow women, right? If you're a woman, I'm not sure if you're a woman or not. I guess you would be wearing bikini. But have your space for you and women, and the men have space for them. It's not right to have men competing against women in that kind of situation as women. That's so silly. Thank you to Matthew, who says, until women walk out of these woke competitions, madness won't stop. They need to be in lockstep to protest against men erasing them from competitions. Correct. Thank you to El Boogie, who says, Democrats are calling Nevada to keep the Senate right now. BBC, Sky News, and go figure, the steal is worse. And man, it might not be the steal. We got to look at the actual situation to see what happened. Thank you to Steve Trivago, who says, wow, Elon Musk made a huge mistake. I brought a check mark. I was biting for a day. I pretty much slept. Thanks for all you do, AB, a long time. So thank you for that, man. I appreciate you. Thank you to RWD Channel, who says, do you think if Trump won in 2024, he would be more likely to take on the Democrats better than DeSantis? Democrats raided Trump's house and impeached him. Trump wants revenge. I mean, is it about personal revenge or is it about doing what's best for the country? You know, if you just lust for vengeance, that won't be really good for the country, in my opinion. Thank you to Anthony Brienne Logan. Shout out to you. Trump 2024. Thank you to JDW, JC11, who says, looks like Democrats gained the Senate seat 5149, shaking my head exactly. Thank you to Mike from Queens, who says the left and media want this GOP war. They do, and we shouldn't give it to them. Thank you to El Boogie, who says if we lose the House, then these elections were stolen through mail-in voting. There needs to be a 1,000 mail-in ballot audit. Nevada, Arizona needs a recount. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. But now it's time for the calls. I know I belabored it a little bit. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. So let's end the poll right here. Let's end the poll. Okay. Did it disappear? Okay. There we go. So you guys may see it right there in the chat. So it says Trump or DeSantis. Trump 57%, DeSantis 42%. So that's 1,500 votes. So Trump won this poll here, but this was a strong showing from DeSantis, very strong showing. So if they were to run at the same time, you're talking about a Ross Perot effect, big time Ross Perot effect, and I don't want that to happen. I think that people in, I don't know. I think, in my opinion, it'd be best to run DeSantis because he has a better ability to have more widespread appeal to average normies who are in the middle who will determine the election. I think so, because look at what happened in Georgia with Herschel Walker and then with Brian Kemp. Herschel Walker might actually lose this, but Brian Kemp won easily. But they're on the same team. So what happened? Well, people voted not just straight ticket Republican. They looked at the candidates and it's like, well, Brian Kemp, squeaky clean. I like what he says, like what he does. He's a good governor. Okay, cool. Let's get him. But Herschel Walker, I don't know, man. You got some controversies with him. People are like that, and you got to be able to accept it and act accordingly. And if you don't, you're not going to have success. It is what it is. And I wish that things weren't that way, but they are that way. So what are you going to do? You barbecue and mildew. But anyway, the number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Somebody called DeSantis Death Santis. Really? Are we doing that? Is that what we're going to do? Are we going the MS-13 DNC route, calling them Death Santis? That's crazy. All right. Let's go ahead and get rocking here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. All righty. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going? Anthony Bree. I can't do it. Anyway, it's F&A Ranger Xbox, brother. How you doing?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, good news, bad news. It's great news that you're growing in popularity. The bad news is it's getting hard to get a hold of you on the phone. But they're all great callers. Oh, even the ones that you got to laugh at. But, you know, it takes time to fill out enough ballots to win an election. You know that. That's why they got to take 2 weeks to, declare the winner, because they haven't filled out all the ballots yet.
Well, there you go.
But I stand with Kyrie. I believe in free speech. And I'm not saying he's hating on anybody or anything, but if you want to hate me, go ahead and hate me. You're free to hate me. I don't care. I do not require anybody to like me. Never have. Oh, boy. And me and you had similar upbringings. You know, my dad was in the Navy. We were moving around all the time. And when he retired out of the Navy, we ended up in the ghetto of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I was the only white boy in an elementary school, Hannah. They closed it down 2 years after I left, or a year after I left in 1974, for being too violent. This is kindergarten to sixth grade.
Wow.
They reopened it, and then they closed it permanently and tore it down in 1976 for being too violent. That's an elementary school.
Wow, that's crazy.
That was a rough school to be the only dirty white boy at. I had no clue. My dad's best friend was John Washington. He was black as the night, and his wife was white as snow. I had no clue people didn't like each other because of their color.
Right.
You wouldn't know about my dad. But shoot. Honestly, this is what I think. Trump with DeSantis as his vice president, so DeSantis can learn the ins and outs of Washington, because he's a great man and he's smart. Trump, you hit the nail right on the head when you said he was surrounded by butt-kissing backstabbers that were feeding him wrong information, because they had the vaccines developed in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
The documents are out there. You get on Wimka, you see all this stuff because it's totally free speech. They don't block anything. You know, you got the right to be as hateful and spiteful as you want. And of course, when you express those, other people got the right to smack you down silly, intellectually speaking,
That's right.
But after that, now DeSantis has 8 years as the president with I can't remember that black fella's name down there, Lieutenant Governor, I believe it's North Carolina.
Oh,
Very eloquent speaker.
You talking about Tim Scott, South Carolina?
I'm sorry?
Tim Scott?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, not Tim Scott, the Lieutenant Governor.
Oh, you talking about Mark Robinson?
Yeah. I'd like to see him as DeSantis' vice president, then after DeSantis does his 8 years, have him become the first real black president of America. That would be awesome.
Yeah,
I could die happy.
Right on. That definitely could happen.
Right now, there's a video floating around of the traitor. What's her name? Oh, Mr. My Dad shot the lawyer in the face while hunting. Dick Cheney.
Oh, Dick Cheney.
His daughter Cheney. Yeah, she's got a video out there going, it's going to be horrible if these congressmen start naming Donald Trump as the Speaker of the House. It's going to be terrible. I think it would be epic.
That'd be something for sure.
And I'm going to close with this. Trump did not mandate the vaccines. Never. And he always said it was going to be free choice. It wasn't. And every single Democrat, every single media outlet says, I would never take the Trump juice. Oh, that stuff.
Yeah, poison. I remember that.
The minute Biden got in, mandates. Do you know what place a mandate has in the U.S. law?
You said what now?
Do you know where a mandate falls in U.S. law?
No.
A mandate is when two gay men get lucky after dinner and a movie. And I'll close with that, Jay. You have a great night. God bless America.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You take care, Anthony. Bye.
All righty. Shout out to the calls. You guys are great. 904 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing? It's Danny.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, brother. I have more like questions about maybe trying to figure out your opinion on certain things. Like, I think it would be like, when that big uprising was, like in schools and stuff, and like all the kids wearing like the Trump gear and stuff like that.
You said when there was uprisings and what happened now? You said kids were doing what?
Like around the time when like guys were in the restaurants and stuff and people were fighting them over the red hat, the red mega hat.
Yeah.
Right. And then the kids started wearing like Trump shirts and all that stuff to school.
Yeah.
Do you think Trump had a bigger role than we're letting it out to be? Because I feel like Trump made a huge difference in this country outside of like older generations. I think he made a huge uprising in like the younger kids.
Well,
as far as how they feel about politics.
I think that Trump made a big difference, but it was also a lot of people like the influencers and social media kind of just blew it up because there was so much attention being paid to Trump on the mainstream media that the alternative media had kind of like a counter message and kids kind of bought into it. In my opinion, that's kind of what happened with that. So that's, kids just wanted to kind of be different, counterculture, and they were interested in what was going on because they were being told they can't be interested in it. So of course, kids, if you tell a kid don't do it, they might want to do it anyway. So I think that's what happened. The mainstream media talking about how bad he was, and then the influencers make it kind of fun and cool and their own curiosity.
And then another one. Do you think Trump ever got to be president?
I think he did.
Do you think he got to be?
You said what now?
Do you think he ever actually got to be? He made a lot of policy changes. He did a lot of things. But did he ever really get to actually, like Joe Biden goes in there and just kicks everybody out and restarts a whole fresh crew? Like Donald Trump didn't fire Fauci. He wanted us to see how bad things were instead of just making like rash decisions. Like he wanted us to see the corruptness of this country. Yet he is the one that promised to drain the swamp. Yet he didn't. But did he drain the swamp by opening our eyes up?
I think he was able to be the president, but at the same time, you can't do everything that you may want to do. You see, Joe Biden was able to just be he could just be put into the system. Biden does nothing. He doesn't. Whatever he does is being orchestrated from the outside or from his people that are around him, the handlers, the staff. He doesn't do anything. You don't even really know where he's struggling to get off the stage after a speech. So if you don't even know where you're supposed to go after a speech, like the direction you're going to go, how are you going to actually be able to govern? Trump was a person that actually governed, but the problem with that was that they didn't want him to govern. They wanted him to just, hey, here's your itinerary. Go do this, go do that, and don't actually govern. Let us do it. So he didn't want to do that too much. But most guys are going to just let themselves be governed by others. Obama was like that. W was like that. His daddy was like that. Biden's like that.
And I think that's what bit Trump in the ass was he wasn't that sit back guy. But also, one more thing. Do you think Trump is acting out like he is right now to, get his name back out there, get people talking again about him? Or maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking a Trump DeSantis ticket is possible. So I don't know what. I think he's going about it the wrong way, but what do you think? Do you think he's just trying to get back on the main stage?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't really understand what he's doing here. I think maybe he's if you were to tell me to guess, I think what he's trying to do is, in my opinion, just trying to poison the well as far as opinions about opinions about other guys that could run in his place. So rather than having any kind of so rather than having any kind of positive sentiment about DeSantis or Glenn Youngkin, he wants to kind of like ruin that. So he is the focus, and he is the guy that becomes the nominee in 2024. I think that's the whole purpose.
Yeah, I just thought it was weird that Candace Owens brought it up like a year after the fact. So I didn't know if there was like a play in, happening or. Well, I just think everything's kind of a little weird, especially with politics these days. I try to stay out of it as much as I can, but I do appreciate you finally answering me. So I appreciate the responses you gave me, and you enjoy your night, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, shout out to the caller. Good call. 310, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 310, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, man. What's going on?
Not much, man. How you doing? I'm going to apologize. I've been being up, so it's loud as hell. But I just kind of called with a comment. I got a question. Like, I see America from the outside. Like, I'm not in America. I've been there for like 12 years. But I wonder, like, do you feel, like, personally, like, that you guys are voted in like a communist country? Like, it seems like to us, like, being in Vietnam, living in China for like 4 years, living in Vietnam for 8 years, it's like y'all are voting in exactly what the people here are trying to get there to have. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I think what is happening is in certain parts of the country, they are voting for communism, but in other parts, they're not. Like, you go to California, 100% communism. Now you come into Texas, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, it's not the same thing. So it's really a state to state issue. And a lot of what we're trying to fight for on the federal level is to prevent the communism from taking over the entire country on the federal level. I think, thankfully, we still have states' rights here, and elections are a state-run thing, not a federal thing. So we can still have states operate in a particular way, and also cities and counties and townships. But definitely in certain parts of the country, they want communism 100%. On the West Coast, as I call it, the left coast, they want that.
Yeah. So do you think, last part of it, do you think America is going to get to that point? Or do you think there'll be something? Because, I mean, I see a lot of the comments about Trump. I think Trump ran his course, and he's trying to, like, he became a martyr, per se.
Yeah.
And it's like he's trying to come back, and it's like, bro, so you're good. You did your thing. You know, it's kind of like Jesus coming around and being like, doing something different. Not comparing the two, I'm saying. But do you think America's going to go that route? Or do you think there'll be a point where it'll be like, all right, something needs to change. We're going too far. Because I feel like it's went too far to where there is no back foot.
I think what's going to happen is it'll get worse before it gets better. It'll get bad, especially in certain parts of the country, and then it's going to be something that happens because the entire country won't go at once. It'll be certain parts, and it's going to be a fight to prevent other parts from going that same way. It's going to be kind of a slow creep. It won't just be this whole big thing that happens at once, and I think it's going to be a fight to keep that from happening. Maybe it happens a long time into the future. Like what we see right now as in the way society operates, we see things from a different lens than what we saw 50 years ago. So things that are kind of like normal and regular and kind of conservative to us will be seen as totally left in years past, maybe. So hopefully we don't go down this really crazy road.
I hope not, man. I heard this guy here a long time ago, an expat. He said communism is awesome for a tourist because you can buy your way out of anything, but it sucks for the people that live there. You know, so hopefully we don't go that way.
Right, exactly.
That'd be horrible. So, all right, man. Well, it's like 10 a.m. here, so I guess to you. Have a good night.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Have a good night. Thank you. All
right, shout out to the caller. And the number to call is 434-658-1220. There's also a Skype email in the description box if you want to call in that way. You can be right there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up, ABO? It's JB Scott from Oklahoma. How you doing, buddy?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not a lot, man. It's getting cold here. Getting really cold here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that climate is changing. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know you're short on time, man, so I'll keep it short and sweet. First of all, the midterms, yeah, there's funny business going on in Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Alaska. Like, what the heck is taking so long? You know, just count the freaking votes. You know, it doesn't make any sense to me. This early voting it's got to go. We got to get rid of that crap, you know. Anyway, and then the transgender pageant, they, them thing. Good Lord. Oh my God. Why are we allowing this to happen? You know, it's insane. I mean, I feel so bad for these young girls. I mean, where are the feminists at? Where are the women's out there marching and, you know, putting a stop to this? They're letting men take over, you know, their stuff. You know, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's crazy.
It really is crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep it short. Like I said, hey, Thanksgiving is coming up, and I was just going to ask you a question. What are some of your favorite Thanksgiving side dishes, you know, to go with turkey and all that good stuff? And I'll leave it at that. You know, I love cornbread dressing and baked beans. And I'll leave it there. Love you, man. Love everybody in the chat and all the callers. And, yeah, I'll just watch the rest of the show.
Thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you.
All right, later, dude.
All right, shout out to the caller. Shout out to my man, JB Scott from Oklahoma. But, yeah, what side dishes do I like on Thanksgiving? You got to have the cornbread, of course. Sweet potatoes. Not really candy yams. Candy yams are okay. With sweet potatoes, you know, that's okay. Maybe some candy yams, a little bit. What else? Macaroni and cheese, of course. No Velveeta or nothing silly like that. I want like real cheese, burnt on top. You know the vibes. Stuffing. Now back in the day, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. When I was a youngin', when I would go, like if I was somewhere else, West Virginia maybe. Get a little bit of chitlins on there. Yeah, get some chitlins. I remember one time, I'm in West Virginia, right? Small town, of course. And I think I went to the store. I walked down the street to the store. And as I'm coming back down the street, I could smell the chitlins hit me. And the chitlins don't really smell good, but they do smell good. They stink, but in a good way. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, it stinks when they're being cooked. But when you taste them, put a little bit of hot sauce on there, it's beautiful. Get you a little saucer, a saucer plate, put the chitlins on there, and get some hot sauce, maybe a little bit of mustard, okay? Dip it in there with a little fork, and you fancy. That's right. Now, normally I don't eat like that. Normally I'm like a military type dude. You know what I'm saying? Although I was not in the military, I'm regimented. I'm the kind of guy that can eat chicken and rice and broccoli every single day. I'm that guy. But when it comes Thanksgiving time, it's like the ultimate cheat day. So yeah, if you got a pot of chitlins, I got to be able to investigate like, yo, who cooked the chitlins? Can we get an interview with them? Can I sit down and talk to them face to face? So yeah, I know, no, that was controversial right there. That was controversial. One time a year, yeah. If I go back to the crib and they got chitlins, I'm getting some. Hopefully, I don't go to the hospital because I ain't had pork in years. But hey, it'd be worth it. But anyway, 216 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going? My name is Don. I'm from Cleveland.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right, good. Hey, real quick, I can't really, I guess, display how I notice, but what Trump is doing right now is more of a D-chess move. He's at the same time, he's endorsing DeSantis, the DeSantis guy. He's putting his name under and letting this guy float. I know it's hard to see it like that, but it's a D-chess move that he's making right now. Tuesday, that's what he's going to announce. 2024, he's not going to run.
Okay. So I hope that you're right. I hope you're right, because I mean that could be the play. Maybe I'm not seeing it, but hopefully you're right, because if he does run, it's going to be a problem. Actually, if he announces right now, it's going to be an issue, because it's going to force others to announce too.
Yeah, he knows that. He knows that. He sees the board. He knows the moment that he begins to hate someone else, that automatically puts their status. So for 2024, DeSantis, that's who he's nominating, whether we know it or not, whether we can see it or not.
All right. So, I mean, hopefully.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All right. Hopefully he's right. You know, that's the way to look at it. We're going to see on Tuesday for sure. All will be revealed on Tuesday, in my opinion. We're going to figure out what's going on. We're going to see what he says. That's going to determine a lot of different things coming up here pretty soon. 715 on line I'm speaking to.
So,
Jesse in Wisconsin.
All right, man.
Hang on, let me pause this.
There we go.
All right, I want to talk about Trump, and I think that he knows the board, like the previous caller talked about, and he's going to want to run as an independent or write-in if he's primaried with DeSantis, and that's going to disrupt the election. So we need to give Trump, because he has just a few more years left to live. We need to give him a vote, and then start voting DeSantis in a couple of years. I wanted to say that for you and your YouTube team.
Well, thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see come Tuesday what's really going on here. Is it an elaborate chess move? Is it them, 3D underwater chess? Is it that, or is it something else? We're going to see. We're going to find out. 856 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
All right, you can hear me clearly, correct?
I hear you well.
All right. I just wanted to make sure. So basically, I was looking at something on YouTube. It was a poll that Brandon Tatum had created, right? And it's...
Hello? Are you there? Okay, I don't know what happened with the caller. Are you there?
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right, my bad. I accidentally hit the mute button by accident.
Okay.
So what I was saying was, I was looking at Brandon Tatum's poll that he just created, and it said, what did it say? It said, who should be the next presidential nominee? And Donald Trump or Ron DeSantis or Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz was at 1%. Mike Pence was at 1%. And Donald Trump was at 42%. And Ron DeSantis was at 58%.
Well, there you have it.
So
There you have it.
Huh?
I mean, there you have it. It's like,
Yeah,
hold on. Matter of
'cause-
fact, let me see if I can pull the poll up. Was it on his YouTube channel?
Yeah, it was on his YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yeah, Brandon Tatum made a poll.
So I'll pull it up right now.
So
matter of fact, I'm as you talking, I'm having it on the screen. So go ahead.
yeah, so basically, I'm gonna try to find it again. I'm pretty sure I have it here.
Oh, I got it. So don't you worry about it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happened was, I think because of him coming at Ron DeSantis like that, and the fact that he was rude to Candace Owens, that's kind of slightly hurting his chances a little bit, because maybe they should also, people want them to stick together and work as a team. But this little infighting that they're doing, they got to stop that, knock it out immediately, because the Democrats stick together even though they do their own little infighting. But they're all on the same page.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
you know, and the thing is, it's like we gotta have everybody on the same page to not fight. If DeSantis says, "Okay, I'm not going to fight," and Mike Pence, Ted Cruz, they're not going to fight, but it's only one guy fighting, it's like you're just not on the same page as the rest of us. If the Democrats don't fight, they just get things done. We got to do the same thing, and we got to be all on the same page to do it.
yeah, I understand where they come from with here's what blew my mind after John Fetterman and Dr. Oz was just completely blown out. And it's just like, even though the way John Fetterman is, after he had a stroke, but John Fetterman won the nominee all because of abortion. You know, abortion is such a big issue, even though a woman has an option to keep her legs closed or use contraceptives and not get pregnant in the first place. You know, well,
right.
Nobody should have the right to tell a woman how to use their body. Okay, well, at the end of the day, I mean, what can I say? You got to prevent. You have a responsibility. That's your body. You have to take care of it.
That's right.
Like, now everybody has to suffer because you don't want to take care of your own body. And so, let me guess, crime doesn't matter. Homelessness doesn't matter. The economy don't matter. We're just going to focus on abortion because people don't want to use contrabands not to get pregnant in the first place.
Right on.
And that makes a lot of sense. Everybody's all in their feelings about abortion. And I was like, you know what? I'm done. I just decided I don't want to be Republican anymore. I'm just independent. I'm still gonna vote for Trump if he runs, or Ron DeSantis, but I'm just staying independent because I'm glad Marjorie Taylor Greene got reelected again, and Ron DeSantis. But my opinion, I feel like they pushed the abortion thing a little too much, or they need to be careful what they say on abortion.
I got you. I mean, it's one of those things where you can't not say what they said about abortion as far as the right, because if you try to be like middle of the road and milquetoast on it, you lose your base. You have to be strong on that, because you can't say, okay, I run on family values, all this, that, and the third. But then when it comes to abortion, you say, oh, well, let them do whatever they want, because now you're going to lose your base, and you're not really going to gain that much on the other side, because if it's between you and them, like as far as on the left or the right, they're going to still vote the left. You still got to maintain your base. The only thing about abortion was just it may have influenced some leftists to come out in stronger numbers than they did before, but you're not going to gain votes by going against your own core values. You're going to actually lose votes that way. So the only way it could have been avoided is if it was not overturned in the Supreme Court. And you can't control the Supreme Court from Washington, D.C. That's a thing that they do on their own. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and I don't want to hold up the calls, but after that, I was a little annoyed by that, because, like I said, we got homelessness. Like you said, homelessness. You got joke Biden, moron Biden, send money overseas. Some people are trying to still say he's the best president ever. I'm like, how? All this money he's sending overseas. I was like, but here's what I say for people. Let's see how good of a job that John Fetterman does, because you already know he doesn't stand on nothing. He's back and forth between fracking, so he don't really have a stance on anything.
Right on, man. Well, thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good one. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem. Yeah, man. The thing about abortion, you can't just like back down on that, because then it's like, well, why did I vote for you? You're a conservative person. Why did I vote for you if you're going to back down on abortion? Don't just try to play into the hands of the left. You're not going to have success that way, because the left are still not going to vote for you. Only thing you're going to do is maybe encourage fewer of them to go out there and vote, but you're also going to encourage fewer of young people to go out there and vote as well if you go out and say that you are for abortion. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Hey, long time no see.
Yeah, man, it's been a minute. How's everything going?
It's been going well. I just had to stay low because I was getting a lot of heat.
Are you getting a lot of heat for real?
Yeah. I don't want to go into detail because it involves my job, but
I got you.
and the students, yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so anyway, what I do want to say though is how the politics are going is really affecting my teaching. I would say that. Yeah. Anyway, Kyrie Irving he is going through the ringer.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. A lot of people talking about the Hebrew Israelites and calling him anti-Semitic when they don't really know who are the Hebrew Israelites.
Right, they have no idea. All they do is just look at what they say on television about Hebrew Israelites and just go with it without any kind of research or nothing. They just say, oh, no, they're anti-Semitic, and that's it.
Yeah. Now, as far as them believing if they're anti-Semitic or not, it depends how you look at it. First off, not all Hebrew Israelites hold the same belief. There are different factions of the Hebrew Israelites. The one baseline belief that they all believe, though, is that they are the true Israelites. Some people will take that as being anti-Semitic. I understand that part because they are saying that the people who say they're Jews, they are fake Jews. If I was a person, or if somebody says that I'm a fake Black American, I will feel a certain type of way. With Kyrie Irving, he gave a classic answer to say that, yeah, he believes the Hebrew Israelites. That when he said that I cannot be an anti-Semitic when I know where I came from, that's a basic answer that all Hebrew Israelites give. Where the difference is where some Hebrew Israelites say that white people are the devil and they cannot be saved and they will be enslaved to Black people. That's where the difference comes in. I don't know if Kyrie Irving believes that. From the person who created the book Negroes to Hebrews, it doesn't sound like he falls in that faction. I'm not going to do that. However, the way that they're treating Kyrie when Jeff Bezos is making money off that movie is messed up. Even for the people who were disagreeing with Kyrie, now are supporting Kyrie because they're not blaming Jeff Bezos for making money off of it.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that's racist right there. And they don't even know they're being racist to Kyrie.
Right, I'm with you.
Yeah. The last thing I want to say is the Muslim fathers in Minnesota, and how they're going against the LGBTQ community to get rid of the books that they given to these grade school students.
Right.
After looking at that, I feel kind of sad for the LGBT community. Because,
why is that?
Yeah, because they saying that if you ban these books, you're being transphobic and you hate the LGBT community. If you look in those books and how sexualized those books are, you're saying that you identify with how you have sex. If we take these books out, we are attacking your personhood. You're putting your personhood on how you have sex. That shows how low you view yourself, and they really need to evaluate who they actually are. Because if you're viewing yourself as doing certain sexual acts, you're no longer a person. You're saying you're no longer a person. You're no longer a human being, and you really need to reevaluate yourself before you even interact with kids.
Yeah.
But I get, and this goes why I get a lot of heat when I talk about how you are still a person. I could disagree with you on how you live your life, but I would still treat you like a person. I'm the one that's called transphobic.
Mm.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Bye.
Yeah, it's crazy because the whole transphobic thing, homophobic, all these phobics, they are terms that are misused to simply just attack people. Oh, you don't think that little kids should transform into some kind of other thing because maybe they're a little bit too young. Maybe they might want to change their mind, or you're transphobic, you're homophobic. It's like, no, maybe I'm just a person that has a brain and think a little bit for myself here. Just maybe. Maybe it's not what you're thinking. All right. Let's go to 407. You're on the line. I'm speaking to 407.
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hi, my name is Bless. I'm calling from Georgia.
All righty.
Okay, I'm an immigrant, and I came here legally, and it's really crazy what I'm seeing happening in this country. Like, we used to look at America like, put it on a standard like very decent. I mean, it's straightforward. But looking at elections, it's not really the way we used to see it. I mean, and I think the Republican Party, I think they didn't learn a big lesson from the 2020 elections, because I was looking at it from 2020, and now it's mostly in the. It's basically in the states led by Democrats that have the excessive mail-in ballots. And anytime those ballots come in and Republicans are winning, and it suddenly changes, and there's always something that happens before that. Like the race in Nevada, I saw a publication on Twitter that said there was a light, actually a light that went off in one of the counting rooms. So it's really sad. And the next day, the Republican guy that was leading, his majority slimmed down. So it's really sad what's happening. I think this country needs God first. And I think the Republicans need to wake up, especially about this mail-in ballot issue, because anytime they're leading and it's always something that happens, and they find more ballots, and guess what? The lead goes down. So I think the Republicans should wake up, and they should, if it's my opinion, this mail-in ballot thing, they should stop it, because even in the future, if they don't take care of this mail-in ballot stuff, it's always going to work against them.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I came here legally. I had to wait in line for my turn. So what I see happening at the border, it's really crazy. I think if If they don't fix it, I don't think, even where I'm from, I don't think of any country or any place that accepts 5,000 people or more a day. How do you take care of those people? How do you manage all of that? I mean, if that keeps happening, then I think there's not going to be any space in the U.S. anymore, because everybody in the world want to come here, and everybody who stays is seeking asylum. Most of them don't qualify for asylum, and they don't want to go through the process of waiting to get here legally. So, I mean, what we're seeing happen in the USA, I mean, it's just, I cannot believe it.
Yeah,
I think we need God. We need to pray for this country. We need to pray for the leaders. I'm talking out of Christ. I mean, I'm spiritual. I'm a Christian, so I believe in God a lot. So I think we really need to pray for this country, because I think there's some evil spirits going into some of the leaders and causing them to do bad things that is destroying the country, not fixing it.
Right on. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my contribution for tonight. I always listen to the program. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All righty. Good call. You guys are rocking with me tonight. I thank you for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Let's go to, we got quite a few calls on deck. I'm going to try to get to you guys as soon as possible. Calling line speaker to 857.
Okay.
857, hello.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
It's all good, man.
This is Ivan, the socialist, communist, and everything else. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
What happened to your boy Trump, man? He's getting all mad and acting like a little kid. And what's going on with your boy?
I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know, man. Now you guys realize who really was his behavior is. Now you guys realize that we've been telling you that for the last 6-7 years, man, about this guy.
The thing about Trump is that we've always known that Trump's been a disruptor. That was needed in 2016 when he won, because the things that he did for the country, I don't think could have been done if he wasn't there. But now he's not necessarily doing the right thing at this time. At that time it was needed, but right now it's not needed. So it's about having the time and the place for everything. And right now it's not that time, but back then it was that time, because we had a great country as a result, a lot of great policies as a result. So it is what it is. You take the good with the bad, but right now it's more bad than good, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. So what exactly policy did as a result? Can you tell me?
You're talking about low taxes. You're talking about no foreign interventions, no foreign wars under Trump. You're talking about low black unemployment rate, low Hispanic unemployment rate, low general unemployment rate for the country. You're talking about a lot of new businesses that have been started, a lot of employment starting. It was a very good time in the country. Nobody can deny that. That's not even really a thing that anybody can say that was wrong. Okay, like that's just a fact. It was much better under Trump than the previous administration, and much better than what's going on right now under Joe Biden, and everybody knows that.
Well, I mean, this non-employment under Joe Biden. I mean, the jobs numbers are pretty good, pretty solid. The only thing we have is inflation.
Yeah, the inflation. People can't afford to live because the inflation is so high. You see what I'm saying?
Well, but that's because companies decided to increase the prices of goods. It's not because of Biden. Biden had nothing to do with that.
Well, but you keep printing and spending money because of all these.
Excuse
me, sir. You keep printing and spending money. That's what causes inflation. Nothing else causes inflation but printing and spending money.
How printing money causes inflation? Can you explain that to me?
Because when you print a bunch of money that is not naturally created by actual commerce and things of that nature, innovation, you're just making the money supply become worth less than what it was before. If you keep printing artificial money, you're making a bunch of just dollars come out there so they're less rare. It's like having a bunch of diamonds. The thing about diamonds that control the high price is the rarity. If diamonds were as abundant as gravel on the ground, they'd be worthless. That's what's going on right now with the inflation. That's a basic economic 101 thing. That's not even really a question to ask. You should know that.
No, that's just not true.
It is true.
You're saying it's not true.
That's what happens. If you just print a bunch of money just randomly with no reason to do, you just print, then the dollar becomes less worth it becomes worth less because you have a bunch of them. So now the price of that's how inflation works, sir. Everybody knows that.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
True.
Yes, it is. Stop. Let's stop. But move on, because that's a basic fact everybody knows. It's not even a political thing. That's basic economics. That's finance.
No, it's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. It's when the dollar loses its value, when the currency loses its value. The dollar has not lost any value. You know what was the comparison of the dollar, $1 versus €1 before the pandemic, before we printed all this money? Do you know what it was?
No.
Okay, so it was 1 to 72. You know what is the value now? It's almost the same. It's almost the same to the yuan. It's almost the same to the.
That's irrelevant. That's totally irrelevant because you could spend dollars.
What is irrelevant?
Excuse me, sir. You could spend dollars in other countries aside from the USA. So the USA has a problem with inflation because of all of our printing money over here, our money supply. But you can spend the same dollars in other parts of the world. Excuse me, sir. Look, I'm gonna just talk while you just don't talk because then can't anybody hear you. Okay, you could spend dollars in other parts of the world. You could spend dollars, but over here in the United States, we've printed so much money that the value of the dollar is not going as far. It's not going as far because you have to raise prices because things cost so much. And part of the inflation, another reason why prices go up due to so much money being out there is since everybody has so much money, you cannot keep up with the demand for goods and services because it's not costing enough. You got to raise the prices to reduce demand because there's so much money out there everybody has. That's kind of what's going on. So that's causing the inflation. And also they're raising the Fed interest rates because of the inflation, trying to ease that. So as they raise interest rates, you're going to have more inflation. It's the economic monetary policy of the U.S. is causing the inflation in the U.S. It's simple, but go ahead.
Nothing what you say is true. Let's give you.
Sure. Everything
let me talk for 3 minutes.
Everything I said is true. Now, you don't get no 3 minutes. You get 1 minute, sir. We don't got all night to be on the phone with you. You get 1 minute.
That's just not true. That's just not true.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Your clock is ticking. 1 minute.
Okay, so it's not true. So
58.
let's give you an example. The reason that the price of pork is more expensive now is because our imports from China, they're coming from China. Pork, they used to be 7% of the consumption of the U.S. Now China is only importing 1%. So the prices of pork is going to be more expensive. I'll just give you one example. Number two is the increase in the interest rate has nothing to do with inflation. That's just not really true. That's not really true. Actually, people depositing money into the accounts, they're going to go more money in the return on the value of the dollar that they put in there. So nothing what you say is true. There's no factual evidence of that. Because if that's the case, we print a lot of much more money in 2008 when the economy collapsed. How come we didn't have an inflation rate then?
08 was terrible for the economy. What you mean?
White things were cheaper back then, and things were not. We have an inflation
08 was
back
much
then.
different because of the real estate crisis. That's a whole different story than what's going on right now with
No.
the virus.
Real estate is just one item.
Excuse me, sir. The whole situation was different in 08. Let's not compare apples to oranges here.
Dude, you listen to these clowns talking in Fox News or whatever, CNN, and then what you do, you take that video and then you capitalize on it. You produce that video, you market that video without even having any evidence what they're just saying.
Okay. What I'm talking about right now is basic economy, economic 101. Like I learned that when I was a little kid. This ain't nothing about no Fox News. This is basic stuff. This thing my parents told me when I was a little boy about, hey, why not just print a bunch of money? And I was told back then as a little kid that when you print money, it causes inflation. This is financial stuff. This ain't even no Fox News stuff. This is like CNBC stuff. Anybody knows this. This is basic information. And the interest rate is going up right now because you have to raise the interest rates because of the inflation. You got to ease the inflation. You got to just make things kind of go back to normal. So when you raise the interest rates, it's going to cause prices to go up as a result. It's going to make things go higher. Trying to buy a home, everything's going to go higher because there's so much money out there. You got to just make it make sense for all the money that's out there. When you reduce the money supply, things can go down because it'll make more sense. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what I'm trying to explain these things to you because you're not understanding basic economics.
We print all this money.
But see, you know what? You're talking the whole time, but I couldn't even hear you. So you have a good night, sir. Thank you for the call. But yeah, that's basic economics 101, man. You print money, you get inflation. You can only get inflation from printing money. That's where it comes from. And the problem with inflation is, in this case, there was so much money being just spent. The PPE loans, ridiculous stuff. So now people just have a bunch of money to spend. And there's not real productivity to measure up to the free money that's been spent. So people are going out there demanding goods and services. During the scamdemic, the fast food lines are wrapped around the block all the time. When they open the stores, people are going to buying TVs and all types of stuff. Remember the whole thing about PlayStation 5s? Is that still a thing going on right now, PS5s? The thing about PS5s, people thought that it was the bot accounts taking them up real quick. No, it wasn't the bot accounts. It was us, because everybody had a lot of money, a lot of time. So they on their phone waiting for the PS5 to go live. And as soon as it goes live, they get it and they got it because they got the extra money. People were struggling to keep up with the demand for all these goods and services because of all the money that's out there. If you reduce the money supply by raising the interest rates, basically, or make the money become more worthless, then you reduce the strain on supplies. It's so simple, man. I don't understand why people don't understand that, but whatever. All right, let's go to the, and thank you, JK. JK says, I have honors economics from UCF. ABL is correct. Thank you. I mean, I'm just replaying what I was taught when I was a little boy about money, finance. Okay. 504 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. It's Alien Spaceship.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I wanted to talk to you about the Trump situation.
All righty.
All right. So, I was talking to Georgia Peach. She's in the chat. And she was thinking, and I was thinking, maybe a possible theory is that Trump could be using a reverse psychology tactic to get people to not like him as much and to like DeSantis more. Can that be possible?
So I didn't quite hear that last part. You were saying, say it one more time for me, please.
Okay. So do you think that maybe Trump could be doing this on purpose to get DeSantis to be more liked than himself? Does that make sense? So everybody like Trump's associated with is disliked. So if this guy is not associated with Trump, or Trump thinks of him as an enemy, the reverse psychology will go into play and people would like him over Trump.
That could be it. I'm not sure Trump is thinking that deeply, but he could be.
I know, because I was thinking, because I study like psychology things on YouTube, and he's very good with media and twisting things around, and that's what she thought of. And I wasn't thinking that deeply, but I think that's probably it's a possibility. But and if that isn't true, maybe he's getting a little paranoid or prideful, and he's getting a little reckless and exhausted. But basically, I think he was a good president. I liked him, and I still do, and I would vote for him if he was the one running for president. But I don't know if is this the best tactic to get people to like him at this moment. I know, he has a good following, and we all like things about him. But I don't know. I mean, I think that it's possible he might be using reverse psychology. That was just something I wanted to bring up.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, that definitely could be what's going on. Like I said, I don't think Trump's thinking that deeply, but it definitely could be, because if that's the strategy, it'll work. I think it would work for sure.
Right, and Candace Owens and them, and they would be a separate thing, because the media contaminated people's minds about Trump, and there's so much things about him, and it's like, although we all know in this chat that Trump is cool, but other people may not see it that way, and I think that Georgia Peach could be correct about that theory.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
Right, but we'll see what happens, and thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Goodbye.
Okay, I see a super chat right there. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you to Lily for the super chat. Lily says, Georgia is even more important now. We take the presidency back in 2024. The split 50-50 works in our favor. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, if we keep that split into 2024, and we get the presidency, then our vice president can be the tiebreaker rather than Kamala Harris. Yeah, you got thinking. So Georgia is still important. For right now, it doesn't matter, but in 2024, it most certainly will matter. So yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you for that. And let's get to a couple more calls here. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on those internets. 360, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Jerry from the Bay Area.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going? I kind of lost my train of thought a little, waiting for but it's all good. Hey, I was going to ask you on the rhetoric of kind of like, where do you stand about Trump being at fault for not having a red wave?
I'm not sure it's totally his fault. I don't think so, because I think there's a lot of things that went on here. I think he could be blamed partially because a lot of his picks did not do well. Well, I'll put it to you this way. A lot of his picks shouldn't have been the picks. And a lot of his picks were actually helped by the Democrats. They were helped by the Democrats. And I think all of his picks that were helped by the Democrats, I'm not saying all his picks, but all the ones that were helped by Democrats to win actually lost. Meaning they were helped to win their primary, but when they got to the general, they lost. So, I mean, and then when he said that he was alluding to running right before the actual midterms, like the day before the midterms, that didn't help. But I don't think it was totally his fault. I just think that it's difficult to get through to people that we are the right way to go right now. A lot of people still like Democrats. They still don't understand about the economy. A lot of people are just kind of dumb, unfortunately. So there was a lot that went on. I think even the GOP themselves kind of dropped the ball. So there's not just one person to blame here, in my opinion.
I think the majority at fault was where was Mitch McConnell with the purses and taking the money out of like popular candidates? Where was Lindsey Graham, drumming up support? Where was Kevin McCarthy giving out speeches about the possible shenanigans? Because I know if the Democrats suspected any shenanigans and the shoe was on the other foot, they would have coughed up a storm in every media outlet everywhere, and you wouldn't hear the end of it. Where were we at? Where was the GOP? Where was the Republicans? If anything, Trump does have a record, a stellar record in picking. Maybe not this time, but overall he did. And I'm just wondering, where was the GOP? Where were the Republicans? Where were our voice? Where were the leaders, the supposed leaders? I mean, Trump wasn't even on the ballot, or he's not even in office. Where were the ones that were in office?
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you're saying for sure. I think that, like I said, it's not just one place to point the finger. There's a lot of blame to go around, really. And I think the GOP most certainly should share blame. It shouldn't just be, it's Trump's fault, because that's kind of minimizing it.
Yeah. And on DeSantis, I mean, I kind of side a little bit more with Trump, because when you got like the Lincoln Project trying to pump you up to run, and Liz Cheney and Mittens Romney and Paul Ryan, I mean, right away, if those establishments and, swamp creatures, try to pump you up to run, and you're not denouncing them, or at least you're not saying, I don't need your help, and then that kind of goes against what we've stood for and Trump stands against. So, I mean, DeSantis right away should have spoke up when this stuff started going on.
Yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, for sure.
And I don't, I mean, I like DeSantis. He's pretty good, but I don't think he has the push to, like, someone that got nominated for 2 Nobel Peace Prizes internationally, brokering deals for peace. I mean, Trump is tried and fire. He has the experience. He's waded in the swamp, and he knows how deep and wide it is.
But see, the problem.
And with that,
go ahead, boss.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
Oh, and with that, I was just gonna say, I love your show. Thank you for giving me a chance to voice my opinion.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. No problem. Now, I didn't want to interrupt him, but the only thing I was going to say to that at the end is that the problem with Trump is that he is not really electable at this point in time. It's like, I would vote for him. If he ran out, I'd vote for him. Don't get it confused. I'm not trying to say that I wouldn't vote for him. Of course I would. I wish he could actually win again, but we have to just look at what's going on. It can't just be fraud. It can't just be that. It's got to be at a certain point. Maybe people don't want Trump. Not enough people. You can get 40% of Americans that definitely want him, 45% of Americans, but that ain't enough. You got to be able to cross over to the other side. It can't just be we love him. Let's put him out there. You got to get the left, some of them. You got to get the independents. You got to get some of these mouth-breathing Normans that don't know any better, that watch MSNBC all day. You got to get them too. And if you can't get them, then it's useless. All you're going to do is just put a Democrat in there, just like Joe Biden is in there. And we see what the result of that is. So you got to look at playing strategy. It's chess, not checkers. But that will actually be the wrap. That'll be a wrap for the show. I'll probably get one more call here, and then that'll be it. So one more call. Call you on line speaker 631.
Hi, I'd like to talk about the Kyrie Irving story, if you still want to talk about that.
You go for it. Yeah, no problem.
Okay. I used to live in Manhattan, and I remember when I lived there, the Hebrew Israelites giving talks in Times Square. I used to walk past them. And, they never bothered me. I don't think too many people took them seriously. And, they say what they say. I don't think it makes any sense. But my understanding is that the documentary or movie that Kyrie posted was essentially that line of thinking. Is that right?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I've not seen a documentary. All that I know is they said it was anti-Semitic, and it didn't really say why it was anti-Semitic necessarily. They said it was just some things in there they didn't like, but I don't know about the content of the actual documentary and book because I've not seen it or watched it.
Well, let's just suppose for a second it was anti-Semitic.
Okay.
And I don't think Jewish people really care about some documentary or movie. At least not religious Jewish people.
Uh-huh.
You might have some left-wing social justice warrior types that would look at that and say, they'd get offended for the sake of being offended. They don't really care about that.
Right.
And religious people tend to live their religious lifestyle. I don't think any Hasidim or Orthodox Jews on the Upper West Side are watching this movie or taking offense at it because they're busy living their lives and they don't care. So I kind of feel like Kyrie, the same way that Kanye is being dragged, he's being dragged by Marxists and leftists and all these weirdos, and it's not by religious Jews. He's being dragged by leftists that are looking for a pretext because Kanye is pro-life and conservative and hangs out with Candace Owens, and Kyrie didn't take the vaccine, and people are just looking to get these guys in trouble. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's kind of what it sounds like to me as well. I think I'm on the same page with you. And there's more to it. The whole thing about Eric Adams and the vaccine mandate. The vaccine mandate in New York City caused Kyrie Irving to lose a bunch of money, like millions of dollars, last season in the NBA. And a federal judge just came out and said that they must reinstate all New York City workers who were fired because of the vaccine mandate with back pay. So maybe it could be a thing where, okay, we might get sued or we might have a little problem with Kyrie Irving and his back pay as well because he was subject to the same vaccine mandate as the city workers, possibly. So it could be a matter of he's already been problematic with not wanting to take the vaccine. We lost money on him. He might try to sue some more money. So it could be a way to kind of blackball him and get him out of the league because they don't want to pay. Who knows? There could be much more than just this whole thing about the retweet. I think that's just one thing they want to use to do what they wanted to do already, which was to go ahead and get rid of Kyrie Irving, in my opinion.
I don't know anything about Kyrie Irving other than the fact that he's a good basketball player and he plays for the Nets and he used to play with LeBron James and they didn't get along towards the end. And I know that Kanye says a lot of weird stuff, but he's very wealthy and he's very good at marketing his music and his investments and fashion and whatever he does. But these guys are harmless to most people. And I just feel like, at least as far as Kanye goes, whenever I see him talk or hear him on the podcast or television, he seems like he has a good heart. And the fact that these guys are in trouble, so to speak, it's people looking for some reason to be upset with them. And look, if they said something that's out of line, then it's out of line. But people say a lot of things that are out of line, and I don't think these guys are bad at heart, but they were just political circumstances. And then the last thing I wanted to mention with regard to the elections, I think this is all a put-up job. I think that there was probably a bigger red wave than people realized. I think that there's a lot of ballot harvesting going on. I think that the Democrats have a system for, ordering ballots ahead of time, using dummy ballots, fake counting, and there's just a lot of shenanigans that go on. I don't believe that the Republicans didn't win the Senate. I think they certainly did. I sure hope Trump runs again. I hope he wipes them all out. And go MAGA.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a great weekend.
All right, shout out to the caller, but that would be a wrap for me because we got 11:05, a little bit over the time, but I was a little bit late. The blame for being late, blame the white man, but that'll be a wrap for me. If you couldn't get on, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Y'all know who to blame, but I'll be back live again on Wednesday. I'll be back with pre-recorded videos on Monday, of course. No videos tomorrow, as usual, on a Sunday. Got to rest a little bit, but that'll be a wrap. Thank you for being here. Been a great show. A lot of interesting phone calls, good conversations. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I've been watching y'all throughout the show. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that's watched, that shared, retweeted, liked, whatever you do. Thank you. I couldn't do it without you. I got super chats on deck right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. Let's go back to where I was. Okay, thank you to, I think I already read, did I read this one already? JC11 who says, looks like the Democrats gained the seat 51-49. Mike from Queens says, the left and the media want this GOP war. L Boogie says, if we lose the House, then these elections were stolen through mail-in voting. I don't know if you can say that, though. You got to have the evidence for that. I don't know if I'll make that kind of allegation. We got to really dig into why we lost rather than just automatically saying it was stolen. That could be a reason, but let's look into it for real. Rather than just saying, I think it was stolen, let's look into all the reasons. If that's the reason we come up with, then that's what it is. But that shouldn't be the automatic reason, in my opinion. Let's look into it for real, because we might have just lost fair and square. Then what? What did we do then? If we just say, oh, it wasn't our fault, then we take no accountability. Therefore, we don't win anymore. And we could tighten stuff up. We could tighten our laws up and we still lose. So then it's like, now what? We weren't being proactive in the time where we were not successful to change things for the better to continue to have success. We can't think that way. We can't just say it was stolen and then have that be that and keep on losing. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. But anyway, thank you to Big Planet Films who says New World Order is real, Agenda 21 depopulation. Thank you to Block K MIT who says Walker is now toast. Nobody's going to dump the money required to win Georgia now. Just 50. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Right. So like the intensity behind the race in Georgia has now decreased. It's like, what's the point? We going to 50-50 anyway. Like somebody else said in a super chat though, it's still important because when we get the White House back in 2 years, we're still going to need that seat because we'll get our vice president to be the tiebreaker. You see what I mean? Now I know there's probably some Senate races in 2024, if I'm not mistaken, but all we got to do is just hold, maybe even gain. So every seat is still important, but the energy behind the race will have diminished for sure. Let me see. Thank you to Lily, who says Georgia is even more important now. If we take back the presidency in 2024, the 50-50 split will be in our favor. Exactly. Thank you to 01 Lee, who says Republicans want rule of law. Thank you to Andrea, who says Lindsey Graham sabotaged the midterms with the abortion ban bill. The question to ask is why the GOP pushing DeSantis now? That's a red flag. Well, yeah, I think the abortion bill wasn't really the problem because the abortion bill kind of was acquiescent to the Democrats. You talking about 20 weeks. It's like that was kind of a pointless thing. I think what really did it was the Supreme Court decision, not Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham was just being kind of weird. That didn't really have anything to do with it. I think it was the Supreme Court decision. Thank you to Zen Krashafarian, who says, please donate to Herschel Walker. Thank you to Shell Beach, who says, however much longer it takes for the World Economic Foundation and Federation countries to bring in CBDC's outline, that's how much time we have. If they get that done, that's it, they win. Tartar Jr. says, 23 states have red trifecta. Red states got redder. In New York and California, the GOP gubernatorial candidates did fairly well. North Carolina Supreme Court is conservative. Kansas and Texas school boards are conservative. Thank you to Lord We Need You 82, who says that last definitely was a Biden troller. Printing money will obviously cause inflation point blank. People need to watch Enemy Within on Daily Wire. Exactly. And thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, God bless America, U.S. All righty. Well, that will be a wrap. You guys have been fantastic tonight, as always. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.